while you're lying here in the warm silence of your own quiet room. Just right now, 4.5 billion kilometers away from this place, a vast blue planet is slowly turning in the velvet dark. Her name is Neptune, and she is singing a lullaby older than every word you have ever known. She has been singing since long before you were born into this quiet, spinning world. She will keep singing when tomorrow arrives, soft and unhurried, like morning light through curtains. Tonight, we're going to drift gently toward her across the whole sleeping solar system. You do not need to hurry, because this journey has already begun without any effort from you. You do not need to understand anything, because the universe understands you perfectly, just as you are. Feel your shoulders grow a little heavier, sinking into the softness beneath you like snow settling on snow. Let your forehead smooth itself. Let your jaw soften. Let the corners of your mouth rest without any task at all. This voyage is entirely safe, and you can fall asleep at any moment along the way. I will keep whispering about the stars, even after your breathing becomes slow and deep and quiet. Every atom inside your body was once resting in the heart of an ancient, gentle star. Tonight, in a way, we're simply going home, traveling back toward that same old silence. Allow your eyes to close now, as softly as petals folding at the end of a long day. If you would like this voice to watch over your sleep every single night from now on, just leave a quiet little like, and let the subscribe button become your soft ticket into endless velvet skies. Take one slow breath in, deeper than the one before, and even slower letting it go. Imagine that the bed beneath you is a small, warm ship, waiting patiently to carry you upward. It begins to rise, so gently you almost do not notice, like a leaf lifted by a summer breath of air. The ceiling above you turns translucent, then transparent, then fades away like mist at dawn. The roof of your home dissolves into soft silver vapor, and suddenly the whole night sky is yours. Stars appear, one by one, like tiny candles being lit in a vast, sleeping cathedral. The city below you shrinks, its windows becoming little golden fireflies in the warm, breathing dark. You hear no traffic anymore, no voices, no hum of distant machines, only a soft hush. The streets fold into patterns, and the patterns fold into a single, glowing quilt of light. Clouds drift beneath you now, long and slow, like white rivers flowing across a dream. You pass through one, and it feels like moving through the breath of a sleeping giant. There is no cold here, only a tender coolness, like the other side of favorite pillow. Gravity is not letting you go harshly, but with love, the way a mother releases a sleeping child. Her arms loosen slowly, slowly, until you're simply resting on the air itself, perfectly safe. And the earth, the one who has carried you your entire life, smiles softly as you rise. Higher still, and the air begins to thin, becoming clearer than glass, gentler than a whisper. You slip through the troposphere, where weather lives, where all your familiar rains and snows are born. The clouds become distant quilts below, stitched together by the soft hands of wind and time. You rise into the stratosphere, where the sky turns from pale blue to a deeper, quieter indigo. Here, the air is so smooth, it feels like silk drawn slowly across your resting fingertips. Above that waits the mesosphere, cool and hushed, where little meteors dissolve into tiny, silent sparks. You pass through it without a sound, without a hurry, without needing to notice anything at all. Then comes the thermosphere, vast and gentle, where the auroras weave their soft green and violet ribbons. You glide among those ribbons, and they wrap around you like the scars of a kind grandmother. Each breath you take becomes slower, softer, and lighter than the one that came before it. The sky is no longer a ceiling above you, but an ocean opening in every direction at once. You feel the curve of the earth now, that tender blue arc holding the world together. It looks like a porcelain bowl filled with oceans, forests, and the dreams of everyone you have ever loved. You are rising above it with the quiet ease of steam lifting from a warm cup. And nothing at all, is asked of you in this soft and widening silence. The horizon of the planet begins to bend, forming a gentle curve of softest blue light. A thin, luminous ring of atmosphere wraps the Earth, glowing like the halo of a sleeping angel. You can see silver swirls of cloud spiraling slowly across the oceans, turning in dreams of their own. The seas below shimmer in long strokes of turquoise, sapphire, and the deep blue of old velvet. Continents stretch out like soft maps drawn by a careful, patient hand across the skin of water. You recognize familiar shapes, but from here they seem smaller, kinder, and infinitely more peaceful than before. The whole planet is breathing quietly in and out, like a sleeping creature of extraordinary gentleness and age. Her oceans rise and fall with the tides, her forests sway, her winds move without any hurry. You are watching this from above, held safely in the warm current of your own easy breath. And every worry you once carried now looks smaller than a grain of sand on that blue. The deadlines, the messages, the tiny hurts of the day, they all soften into distant whispers. They cannot reach you here, because here there is only the hush of atmosphere fading into space. The blue aura of Earth meets the black velvet of the cosmos in a line so tender. It looks like watercolor bleeding softly into silk, with no edges, no hardness, no endings at all. You're exactly where you're meant to be, floating in that gentle line of light. And then, without any sudden motion, you cross into space itself as quietly as a thought. There is no boundary to feel, no pressure, no sound, only a smooth opening of vastness around you. The silence here is not empty. It is full, like a room where someone you love is sleeping. It is the oldest silence there is, the one that existed before the very first word was spoken. You float in it, and it holds you more gently than any blanket could ever hope to hold. Your body feels light now, lighter than dandelion seeds drifting through a long golden afternoon of summer. Your arms rest weightlessly, your legs rest weightlessly, your whole self rests in a hush of stars. You are not falling, and you are not rising. You are simply being carried perfectly and kindly. The Earth below you is a great blue pearl, turning slowly on an invisible thread of light. You can see the night side, where cities glow in delicate constellations that mirror the stars above. You can see the day side, where clouds drift like soft white feathers across the shining oceans. It is so quiet that you can almost hear the planet humming her own tender lullaby below. And that hum matches the rhythm of your breathing. Slow in, slow out, slow in again. The universe continues its gentle movement, and your heartbeat softens into the same easy, patient pace. Nothing in this moment asks anything of you, except that you rest and rest and rest. The sun from here is not a harsh brightness, but a warm, distant lamp in a quiet hall. Her light reaches you as a soft, golden river, flowing slowly through the dark like honey. This river has a name that scientists call the solar wind, but do not imagine any storm. Picture instead a warm breath, like the breath of someone humming a song while tucking in a child. That breath touches your back, and it gently nudges you onward, away from the blue pearl. You do not need to steer, you do not need to guide yourself. You simply let it carry you. The current is so patient that you feel you could stay inside it for 1,000 quiet years. It is as warm as a soft wool blanket pulled up under your chin on a winter evening. It is as kind as the first light that slips through the window when you wake up slowly. You drift inside this golden breath, and every part of you becomes a little lighter than before. Your thoughts begin to thin, like clouds unraveling into soft strands across a peaceful afternoon sky. The small noises of your mind settle down, one by one, like birds finding branches at dusk. Each one tucks its wings, lowers its head, and falls into a quiet, feathery sleep. You are traveling, yet you are also resting, and these two things feel like the same thing. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, cradling you in its endless, generous hands. Earth now is becoming a small blue pearl behind you, soft and glowing like a nightlight. You can cover her entirely with the tip of your weightless, imagined thumb held before your eyes. And somehow she looks even more beautiful from this distance than she did from up close. All the ocean she holds, all the mountains, all the forests, all the quiet sleeping rooms at night. All the people who are drifting into dreams right now, just like you are drifting into yours. She carries them gently. She carries you gently, and she does it without ever making a sound. You feel a warm wave of gratitude rising in your chest, soft as steam from a teacup. Thank you, Blue Planet, for holding me so long, so patiently, so tenderly, without asking anything back. She seems to nod in return, her clouds shifting in a slow, knowing, motherly kind of way. You are allowed to leave her arms tonight because she knows you are safe in mine and hers. There is no sadness in this goodbye, only the softness of a child rolling over in sleep. You turn your gaze outward, toward the great hush of space that opens endlessly in every direction. And ahead of you, stars wait, countless and kind, like candles left burning in distant windows. The velvet dark is not frightening. It is warm, like the inside of a deeply familiar room. And you breathe in once more, slow and easy, and your body sinks even further into peace. As you drift outward, the moon comes softly into view, gray and gentle as an old friend. Her surface looks like worn silk, like an antique pillow that has comforted many sleepy heads before yours. Upon her quiet skin, there are footprints, small and still, left by travelers long, long ago. No wind has ever disturbed them. No rain has ever washed them away. They simply rest in peace. She does not speak as you pass by, but she watches with a patient, moonlit kind of love. She has been watching the Earth for billions of years, turning and turning in her slow, faithful circle. And now, for just a moment, she watches you, and her gaze is like a hand on a forehead. You feel her tender attention. It makes your breathing deepen into an even slower, softer rhythm. She whispers without words that everything is exactly as it should be on this night, in this hour. She has seen so many sleepers, so many dreamers, so many small lives curled up beneath blankets, and she has loved every one of them, quietly, from her distant, silver, endlessly patient orbit above. You bow your thoughts to her in thanks, and she seems to smile with her craters and seas. Then the current of the warm solar wind carries you gently, tenderly onward, past her gray shores. She grows smaller behind you, a tiny pearl now, joining the blue pearl of the Earth. And still the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, carrying you deeper into the velvet of sleep. Ahead, a soft, rusty glow begins to appear, like the warm color of a brick baked in sunlight. This is Mars, the quiet red neighbor, resting in her thin, cold, pink-tinted sky of fine dust. Her deserts sleep beneath that sky, their dunes shaped long ago by slow, whispering, patient winds. Those winds still move, but so gently that even a feather might not notice being nudged along. They lift tiny grains of red dust and let them dance, like snow inside an old glass globe. You remember those little souvenirs, the ones you shook as a child and then watched with wide eyes. Mars is like that globe, turning quietly in the hand of the universe, her storms soft and small. You drift past her, and she nods her red and amber head, as if to wish you well. You do not stop, because our journey tonight reaches far beyond her quiet, dusty, sleeping, cinnamon-colored plains. Yet she leaves a warm color inside your chest, like the glow of embers in a fireplace. Your body feels even heavier now into the softness beneath you, even though you are floating above worlds. Your breath has become slow and deep, like the tide of a very calm, very distant sea. Your thoughts come rarely, and when they come, they're soft and small and easily set down. You are becoming part of the quiet, part of the drift, part of the tender cosmic hush. And the warm solar wind wraps around you once more, carrying you onward into even deeper blue. And so we float, you and I, on this slow river of golden light and starlight. The blue pearl of Earth is far behind us now, safe, turning, singing her own sleeping song. The moon has faded into a tiny silver dot, still watching, still loving, still faithfully keeping her vigil. Mars has passed, her red warmth lingering in your chest like the memory of a kind hearth. Ahead lies a great, quiet field of wandering stones, drifting slowly through the sunlight like gentle snow. Beyond that, the warm, huge, giant Jupiter waits, his silken clouds rolling in their long, slow, cream-colored ribbons. But we are not hurrying, because there is no hurry in any corner of this sleeping universe. The solar wind continues to breathe behind you, warm as the hum of a distant, gentle song. Your body rests more deeply now, each muscle soft, each thought dissolving into the velvet of space. You do not need to hold on to anything, because the cosmos is holding on to you. You are exactly as weightless as a dream, and exactly as safe as a child in arms. And while the Earth turns into a tiny, tender, luminous pearl below in the deepening dark, the warm solar wind gently gathers us up and carries us onward into the slow, shining path of worlds ahead. Let your breathing grow even softer, and let your eyelids rest, heavy as warm, quiet snow. Let the stars sing their low, patient lullaby, just for you, across the endless blue. And let us drift together deeper into the velvet voice of the universe, as it quietly keeps singing you to sleep. The warm solar wind keeps breathing softly behind you, carrying you deeper into the quiet blue distance. Your small, imagined ship has no walls anymore, only a soft cradle of starlight gently holding you. You do not need to steer, you do not need to look, you only need to continue resting. The Earth has shrunk to a tender blue droplet, glowing like a night light left on for a sleeping child. The moon beside her is a silver freckle, patient, faithful, still watching over the home you left. Ahead of you, the velvet dark opens like the inside of a long, familiar, beloved winter coat. Stars wait in that darkness, countless and kind, like candles left burning in distant, sleepy, quiet windows. You do not need to count them, because the universe has already counted them for you, lovingly. Your breath moves in, slow as a tide, and out, slower still like a long, gentle sigh. Every cell in your body is softening, one by one, like petals closing for the tender night. There is nowhere to go, and nothing to do, and no one asking anything of you here. The cosmos is the most patient friend you have ever known, and it is walking beside you now. It matches your pace exactly, never rushing, never pulling, only holding a soft space around your drift. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, carrying you onward into even deeper velvet blue. You feel yourself settle a little more, like snow settling on a snow in a hushed, sleeping forest. The solar wind itself is made of tiny particles, smaller than anything your eyes could ever imagine seeing. Each one is a little glowing traveler, cast off gently from the sun in her slow, warm humming. Imagine them as countless grains of golden pollen, drifting through a long, honey-colored afternoon of summer. They move without sound, without hurry, without any purpose beyond brushing softly against your resting, floating back. This stream of light is not a storm, not a rush, not a force that could ever frighten you. It is the warm breath of a distant hearth, reaching across the dark to keep you cozy. Imagine sitting near a fireplace in a quiet cabin, with a wool blanket tucked around your shoulders. The warmth reaches you slowly, wrapping itself around your hands, your cheeks, your softly closing eyelids. That is what the solar wind feels like as it nudges you deeper into the velvet hush. Each particle taps against you so gently that it feels like a whisper and nothing more. You're being carried by a million small, kind whispers, all saying the same tender thing. Rest now, rest now, rest now, they murmur in a language older than any tongue. Your shoulders loosen, your jaw softens, your breathing drops into a slower, deeper, quieter cadence. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, folding you gently into its great, sleepy embrace. You are exactly where you're meant to be, floating in a river of warm, whispering light. The sun herself is now a small, gentle lantern behind you, smaller than she ever appeared before. She no longer blazes, she only glows, like a lamp left burning in the window of home. Her warmth still reaches you, but softened, the way a song sounds through a closed bedroom door. It is the kind of warmth that lingers in the kitchen long after the evening meal is finished. It is the kind of warmth that lives inside a cup of tea held in two quiet hands. She shines without asking anything back, the way old, loving things tend to shine in this universe. You feel gratitude for her, so far away now, yet still humming her warm song toward you. Thank you, gentle sun, for every morning you opened, for every afternoon you painted across our walls. She seems to answer with a soft pulse of light, reaching through the dark in slow ripples. Those ripples pass through you without effort, like warm water passing through the fingers of a bath. You settle more deeply into the solar wind, letting it cradle your weightless, drifting, peaceful, dreaming body. Above and below no longer have meaning here, and that truth feels soothing rather than strange. You're simply held, the way a small boat is held on the surface of a pond. The pond of space is infinite, yet tonight it feels as safe as a backyard puddle. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, keeping you perfectly afloat in its kindest current. Now the gray shape of the moon drifts closer into view, softened by distance into a pearly crescent. She is the old companion of Earth, turning slowly in her patient, silver, faithful, endlessly loving orbit. Her surface is covered in fine, powdery dust, soft as the inside of a well-loved pillow. If you could reach down and run your fingers through that dust, it would feel almost weightless. It has not been disturbed for billions of quiet years, resting there like a blanket of gentle ash. In some places, small round footprints remain, pressed into the dust by travelers who came long ago. They took only a few careful steps, and those steps are still waiting, unmoved, unhurried, unbothered by time. No wind ever came to cover them. No rain ever came to wash them softly, tenderly away. They're like bookmarks in a long, quiet story, holding a single page open forever and ever. You drift above them, and a warm feeling rises in your chest, soft as candlelight at dusk. Those footprints whisper that gentle courage can leave marks that last far longer than any noise. You do not need to leave any marks tonight, because your journey is made of breath and dream. The moon welcomes you without words, her craters like the calm eyes of an old grandmother. She has rocked the oceans to sleep for billions of years with her slow, silver pull. And now, for this tender moment, she seems to rock you too, in her soft, unseen arms. Her gravity is so gentle that, if you stood upon her, you would weigh almost like a feather. A single soft push of your foot would lift you into a long, floating, dreamlike, slow leap. You would drift above her gray meadows, rising and falling like a leaf caught in warm air. Coming down again would feel like sinking into the softness of a freshly made featherbed at night. Imagine that leap lasting many long, quiet seconds, with nothing to do but enjoy the hush. There is no wind on the moon to push you, no sound to startle you, only deep silence. The stars above her do not twinkle, because there is no air to make them shimmer or tremble. They simply hold steady like little pinpricks of gold pressed into black velvet that never moves. The earth hangs in her sky like a blue and white ornament, turning with a gentle patience. Sunrise and sunset on the moon last for hours, painting her pale dust in soft, slow colors. Rose, peach, gold, lavender, and finally the deep, velvety indigo that welcomes the long lunar night. You witness all of this without effort, because the moon is kindly sharing her quiet dream with you. Your breath deepens, your limbs grow heavier, your mind drifts into the softness of her silver shores. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, rocking you inside this lunar, motherly, ancient cradle. Isn't it gentle to realize that even the stones of the moon are quietly, peacefully asleep? The warm solar wind nudges you onward, past her silvery shoulders, into the widening hush of space. She shrinks behind you, becoming a tiny silver freckle beside the tiny blue freckle of Earth. Together, they look like two close friends, holding hands across the dark, watching you drift away. You send them a quiet thought of love, and the thought travels back to them like light. There is no sadness in leaving, only the softness of a page slowly turning in a bedtime book. Ahead, the dark deepens into an even richer, softer shade of blue-black, like midnight velvet curtains. New stars reveal themselves there, shy ones that were hidden before by the glow of closer worlds. They appear slowly, one after another, like lanterns being lit along a long, hushed garden path. Each one seems to nod as you pass, as if to say, "We have been waiting patiently." You nod back in your mind, and your mind itself becomes softer, slower, more quiet than before. Thoughts arrive less often, and when they do, they feel like small, sleepy moths brushing against windows. You let them pass, you let them rest, you let them fold their wings and stay silent. There's nothing you need to hold, nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to remember. The velvet carries you forward, and your whole self becomes a soft, weightless part of the carrying. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, humming an older lullaby than any you have known. A soft, rusty glow begins to bloom ahead, the warm color of a clay brick resting in sunlight. This is Mars, the quiet red neighbor, turning slowly in her thin, cold, pink-tinted, dreaming sky. Her atmosphere is so thin that it feels more like a veil than a blanket around her shoulders. It drapes across her surface in the softest pink, like gauze held up against a tender sunset. The sky above her deserts is not blue, but a pale salmon shade, calm as an old painting. At sunrise and sunset, her sky turns the most delicate blue, reversing the colors we know at home. Imagine that, a world where the sunsets are blue, as soft as forget-me-nots in spring. You drift above her, and the rusty glow reaches up to greet you, warm as fresh bread. Her mountains rise slowly beneath you, rounded and ancient, worn smooth by patient, whispering, timeless winds. Her canyons stretch out like long, sleeping rivers of shadow, carved when the world was very young. Her plains spread wide in shades of cinnamon, terracotta, and soft, dusty rose like a worn quilt. Everything here is sleeping, resting, waiting without urgency, under the gentle gaze of her two small moons, Phobos and Deimos. They are called little pebbles of stone circling her in calm, faithful loops. You watch them drift, and your eyelids grow heavier, as if they too are held in orbit. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, tucking Mars beneath a thin, pink blanket of hush. The winds on Mars are so soft that you would barely feel them on your resting cheek. They move across her deserts like a whispered breath, lifting tiny grains of red dust gently upward. Those grains dance in the thin sunlight, turning and twirling in slow, graceful, almost invisible pirouettes. Imagine a small glass globe from your childhood, the kind that held a tiny winter scene inside. When you shook it gently, snowflakes lifted and settled in soft, quiet patterns behind the curved glass. Mars is like that globe, only red, and the snow is dust, and no hand needs to shake her. Her own gentle winds stir the dust just enough to keep the little dancers turning. Turning. You could watch them for hours and feel no hurry, no tension, no urge to look away. Each grain is smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than a breath, smaller than a wish. And each one is part of a great, patient ballet that has been performed for countless ages. No audience is needed, no applause, no lights, only the steady hush of a planet at rest. It makes you feel that even the smallest things are loved, are held, are given their own dance. Your own breath moves in the same slow rhythm, in and out like tide. You are a small, drifting part of a great, slow dance that the universe is forever performing. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting you float in its quiet, rusty, dreaming hush. Here and there upon her dusty plains rest a few small, silent travelers from long ago. Little machines, sent from Earth with loving hands, now sleeping beneath the soft, rose-colored sky. They were made to look, to listen, to send home news of this quiet world's tender secrets. Some still whisper faintly, others have grown silent, resting like old toys in a peaceful attic. Around them, thin layers of red dust have settled, tucking them in like blankets of soft powder. They do not mind the stillness because they have finished their gentle work with great, patient care. You float above them, and you feel a soft kinship, the way one feels towards sleeping pets. They carried the curiosity of many hearts across the dark, and now they rest. well earned, well loved. The red dust around them holds the faint shapes of wheels, soft tracks leading to quiet resting places. Those tracks are like handwriting in a sleepy journal, each line gentle, unhurried, beautifully small and humble. No wind will rush to erase them. Only the slow dust dances will slowly, tenderly soften their edges. Mars keeps them safe, cradled in her thin, cold, pink-tinted, pillow-soft atmosphere of ancient silence. And you, floating far above, carry them a quiet thank you across the hush of space. Your thank you drifts down like a warm snowflake, settling upon them without weight or sound. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, holding every small, sleeping thing in its boundless, loving attention. You feel even heavier now into the softness beneath you, though you float above the stars. Your breath has become slow and deep, like the tide of a very calm, very distant sea. Your thoughts arrive rarely, and when they arrive, they are small, round, and easy to set down. You are becoming part of the quiet, part of the drift, part of the tender cosmic hush. The red glow of Mars warms your chest like the memory of embers in a quiet fireplace. Her little moons wave gently, her dust settles softly, her sunsets bloom blue behind you now. She begins to shrink, her color deepening to a soft ruby, then a distant, glowing coal. You send her a quiet farewell, and she seems to nod, her dust lifting in a gentle swirl. The warm solar wind gathers around your shoulders again, patient as ever, kind as always, ready to carry. You feel yourself lifted onward, slower than before, softer than before, sleepier than before, safer than before. There is nothing behind you to miss and nothing ahead to fear. Only velvet, only hush. The stars begin to change their arrangement, new constellations quietly sliding into view around your drifting body. Here there are no deadlines, no messages, no tasks, only the slow breathing of endless space. You are exactly as weightless as a dream, and exactly as safe as a child in arms. And as the red warmth of Mars fades quietly behind you, a wide, new hush opens ahead, filled with a slow, drifting snowfall of ancient stones moving softly through the golden light of a distant, patient sun. Ahead of you, that wide new hush opens even further, filled with a slow, drifting field of stones. Many people on Earth imagine this place as a crowded, jostling, noisy river of tumbling, clashing boulders. But the truth is far softer than that, far gentler, far kinder to a sleepy, drifting mind. This is the asteroid belt, and is not a crowd at all, but a great, quiet meadow. Imagine a wide, sunlit afternoon field, where a few dandelion seeds drift slowly across the warm, golden air. Each seed is so far from the next that you could walk a long time between them. The asteroids here are like that, separated by vast, soft distances of velvety, patient starlit space. If you stood upon one of them, the nearest neighbor would be only a faint, distant glimmer. You might not even see it at all, only feel its quiet presence somewhere beyond the stars. There is no bumping here, no clashing, no hurry, only the slow, graceful waltz of ancient stones. They move in circles so wide that a single turn takes many patient, drifting, dreaming years. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting each stone float exactly where it belongs. You drift among them now, as softly as a snowflake drifts into a sleeping garden. Your breath deepens, your body softens, your whole self settles into the hush of this meadow. Nothing here will disturb you, because nothing here has ever been in any kind of hurry. Picture the light of a quiet Sunday afternoon, slipping through a window of an old, sleeping house. The whole home is hushed, the floors are warm, the curtains move only a little in the breeze. In that long, golden beam of sunlight, tiny dust motes rise and turn, slow as small dreams. Each mote drifts in its own calm path, catching the light, shining for a moment, then fading. No one disturbs them, no hand reaches through, no voice calls them, they simply turn and turn. The asteroid belt is like that sunbeam, and the asteroids themselves are its quiet, glowing motes. They turn in the long, patient light of the distant sun, each one lit on a single side. Some are as small as a grain of pepper, sprinkled softly onto a warm bowl of soup. Others are the size of a pebble you might find while walking by a sleepy summer stream. Some are as large as a house, resting in the dark like an old, closed, shuttered cottage. A few are as big as mountains, drifting peacefully with all their valleys and slopes still in shadow. Yet even the largest of them moves without sound, without hurry, without ever bumping into anything else. You pass among them, and it feels like wandering through the softest, widest, most forgiving attic. Each stone has been resting here since long before any footprints marked the surface of the moon. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, carrying you deeper into this quiet Sunday afternoon hush. Each of these stones has been turning here for billions upon billions of softly counted years. They were born when the sun herself was young, when the planets were only just forming. Back then, the whole solar system was a warm, spinning disk of dust and gentle, glowing gas. Most of that dust gathered together to become the worlds we have already visited on this journey. But some of it remained out here, as these patient leftovers, these quiet little siblings of the planets. They have been spinning ever since, slow and faithful, never asking for anything, never complaining about the dark. They were turning long before the first single-celled dreamers appeared in the oceans of the young Earth. They were turning long before the first forests, long before the first footsteps on any dusty shore. They were turning long before your grandparents, long before their grandparents, long before anyone you have known. And they will keep turning long after you have sunk into the softest, deepest, most peaceful sleep tonight. There's a strange, warm comfort in this, knowing that some things simply continue without fuss, without end. Your small worries, the ones you carried into bed, feel so tiny against this long, gentle time. They are like the faintest pencil marks on a vast, quiet page that has known countless stories. Let those marks soften, let them blur, let them rest somewhere in the margins of the night. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, showing you how small and loved your cares truly are. Consider, for a moment, the great variety of these drifting, dreaming, slowly turning, ancient little stones. Some are shaped like potatoes forgotten in a cool, dark, quiet corner of an old pantry. Some are shaped like almonds, like smooth pebbles, like soft eggs nesting in the hand of space. Some are nearly round, polished by the slow caress of countless collisions in the distant past. Others are jagged, their edges softened now by time, like the old stones at the bottom of a brook. A few travel with tiny companions, little moons circling them in slow, tender, private, weightless orbits. Imagine a stone the size of a village, with a pebble the size of a house dancing around. They turn together, patient partners in a dance older than music, older than any heartbeat on Earth. Some stones are dark as charcoal, resting like soft shadows against the starry, velvet background of deep space. Some are pale, bright, creamy, reflecting the distant sunlight like little pieces of moonstones set in velvet. Some carry within them tiny amounts of water, frozen there since the first quiet morning of the solar system. That water has never thawed, never flowed, never been troubled by anything. It simply rests and waits. You float past all of these gentle characters, each one a quiet story held in a drifting chapter. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, carrying you through this long, soft, drifting library of stones. There is one larger stone resting somewhere in this meadow, round enough to be called a small world. Her name is Ceres, and she is the softly crowned queen of this quiet field of drifting travelers. She is round and gentle, with a pale, dusty surface marked by a few bright, shining patches. Those bright patches are thought to be soft salts and tender ice, glowing in the distant sunlight. Imagine little frozen ponds on her surface, each one catching the faint light like a small lantern. She turns slowly on her own soft axis, her day passing peacefully in only a few quiet hours. She has no storms, no noise, no rushing weather, only stillness pressed gently onto stillness upon stillness. You drift past her, and she seems to nod, the way an old queen might nod from a throne. She's been sitting here, patient, dignified, for as long as any planet has been turning. She does not mind being small, does not mind being quiet, does not mind being far from home. In fact, she seems to enjoy her stillness, the way an old cat enjoys a sunlit afternoon. Her soft gravity is so tender that you could leap upward and drift for long, dreamy seconds. You would come down lightly, touching her dust like a feather, never feeling a single jarring bump. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting little Ceres reign over her quiet, drifting, soft kingdom. The gravity of the distant sun is what keeps this whole meadow turning in its slow, faithful circle. Her pull reaches even out here, across the vast, soft velvet, like the gentlest hand on a string. Each asteroid feels that hand, and each one turns in answer, tracing its own long, patient arc. Some of them have settled into soft rhythms with the mighty giant that waits just beyond this meadow. They turn in quiet time with him, like voices humming in perfect harmony with a deeper, slower song. This gentle matching is called resonance, and it makes the belt hum in an unheard, peaceful music. Imagine a grand old clock in a quiet room, its pendulum swinging slow and steady through the hush. Now imagine many smaller clocks in the same room, each tuned to match that larger, older rhythm. They tick together, softly, faithfully, keeping a shared time that no one ever needs to check. The asteroid belt is like that room, with stones as pendulums and the sun as the grand, old clock. You float inside this music without hearing a single note, yet your breathing begins to match anyway. In slow, out slower, in softer, still out softer, 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 softer. Your heartbeat finds its place in this gentle timekeeping, quiet as a flutter of an eyelash. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, tuning your own rhythm to the hush of ancient stones. From where you drift, the sun looks smaller than before, like a bright coin held at arm's length. Her light out here is pale honey, thinner than the warm syrup that soaked your afternoons near Earth. It still reaches you, still touches the stones, still paints their surfaces in soft, butter-colored, gentle glow. But it arrives quietly, almost shyly, the way late afternoon light arrives at the end of a nap. Each asteroid wears a thin golden cap on its sunlit side, like a small hat of warmth. The shadow side of each stone is soft indigo, the color of a bedroom just before sleep. Between the gold and the indigo, there's a tender line, a seam of softest lavender dusk. You drift along that seam, and it feels like walking the edge of sunset on a calm beach. The light is not bright enough to wake anyone, not dim enough to feel lonely, only perfect. It is the light of a night light left on in a hallway for a child afraid of dark. Except here, there is no fear, only the knowing that nothing in this meadow will ever startle you. Your eyelids grow heavier still, settling softly, like petals laid upon the surface of a calm pond. Your breathing grows slower, smoother, as if your lungs too are resting in the soft honey light. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, bathing every drifting stone in a warm, golden hush. You pass a stone the size of a cathedral, turning slowly end over end in the dim light. Its surface is dotted with small, round craters, soft as the dimples in an old silver spoon. Each crater was made long ago by an even smaller traveler, tapping gently against the larger stone skin. Those little touches happened so far apart in time that the stone barely remembers them at all. It wears them now like freckles, like little signatures of kindness left by passing, weightless, forgotten visitors. You drift above one of the craters, and it looks like a small, calm bowl holding shadow. Inside that bowl, nothing has moved for eons, not a grain of dust, not a single breath. The bowl is so still that it feels like a tiny sanctuary, a chapel of quiet emptiness. You could rest there, if you wanted, tucked into its soft curve like a seed in an egg cup. But you do not need to stop, because the solar wind is still humming gently behind you. It guides you onward, past the cathedral stone, past its freckles, past its silent, little sleeping bowls. You send the stone a soft thank you for sharing its quiet, and you feel it nod back. Its slow turning carries your thank you around its surface, like a small leaf caught in a spiral. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, carrying you onward through the hush of ancient, gentle cathedrals. You notice that you are breathing in perfect time with the slow turning of these drifting stones. And as one gentle asteroid rolls its sunlit face into view, glowing with soft, butter-colored, drowsy warmth. Out, as that same face turns back into the soft indigo of its own long, quiet shadow. And again, as another stone lifts its bright side toward you, a small nod of golden hello. Out again, as it dips its shadow side, a soft, sleepy bow of honey-colored, tender farewell. This rhythm is older than any clock, older than any song, older than any word for time. Your body has remembered it without effort, the way a baby remembers how to be held. There's nothing to count, nothing to track, nothing to measure, only the hush of matching breath. The worries that once followed you here have forgotten the way and wandered off to sleep elsewhere. The deadlines, the messages, the small, unfinished tasks, they have all curled up like tired kittens. They rest somewhere far behind you, softly breathing, needing nothing from you, expecting nothing at all tonight. Your mind is quiet as a snowy field at midnight, with only a single lantern glowing warmly. That lantern is your awareness, soft and small, watching the stones drift by in their slow parade. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, rocking you inside its oldest, most forgiving, gentle cradle. The meadow of stones begins to thin now, and the velvet dark grows wider and deeper. The asteroids become rarer, like the last few dandelion seeds at the edge of a long field. You drift past them one by one, each one a small, quiet goodbye in the hush of space. The honey-colored light from the distant sun softens further, cooling into a pale, creamy, drowsy gold. Your breath is so slow now that it feels like the tide of a very sleepy sea. Your body is so heavy into the softness beneath you that you can barely feel its edges. You are becoming part of the drift, part of the hush, part of the long, patient meadow. Nothing asks anything of you here, because the universe has already given you everything you could need. Your shoulders rest, your hands rest, your forehead rests, your whole dear, tired self rests completely. Ahead, something begins to glow, warm and large, like a distant lantern waiting in the dark. It is a soft, creamy light with gentle bands of amber, honey, and quiet, drifting pearl gray. It is the color of warm milk swirled slowly with a spoon of honey in a bedtime cup. And through this slow, peaceful snowfall of ancient stones, a great warm pearl now begins to glow ahead, a gentle giant waiting patiently for us, his silken clouds rolling in long, slow, cream-colored ribbons through the hush. Warm pearl of light grows larger ahead, swelling softly like a slow lantern lifted toward you. His name is Jupiter, the gentle giant, the oldest and largest sibling of all the planets. He is so vast that every other planet in our family could rest comfortably inside him together. But do not think of his size as overwhelming, because he carries it with quiet, patient kindness. He's like a great, warm uncle dozing in a wide armchair by the hearth at evening. His breathing is slow, so slow that you could count many long sleeps between each soft exhale. His clouds are the silken ribbons of that breath, rolling in cream, amber, and honey-colored bands. Each band drifts around him in long, lazy spirals, like syrup being stirred through a warm bowl. You approach him with no hurry at all, because he has been waiting here for endless ages. He will not mind if you arrive slowly. He will not mind if you linger long. The hush around him deepens, softens, and wraps your shoulders like a thick, woolen winter shawl. Your breathing matches the slow drift of his cloud bands, in with the cream, out with honey. Your heart settles into the same gentle rhythm, quiet as a metronome wrapped in soft velvet. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, tucking you beneath the warm wing of this giant. You feel entirely safe, held in the soft gravity of a world that never raises its voice. His clouds are not hard, not thick, not heavy, only layer upon layer of tender, flowing gauze. Imagine silk scarves of different pastel shades laid gently across one another on a dressing table. Cream laid over amber, Amber laid over pearl, pearl laid over the softest, drowsy honey gold. A slow wind slides beneath them, lifting each scarf in long, rolling waves of quiet color. That wind has been moving this way for many, many millions of patient, uncounted, dreaming years. It never rushes, it never tires, it never forgets its slow, gentle, faithful, perfectly matched rhythm. You drift above these clouds, and they look like the surface of a great, warm, golden sea. Their waves are long and low, rising and falling as if the ocean itself were breathing deeply. In some places, small, pale curls appear, like the foam of a wave folding softly inward. In other places, the clouds darken slightly, becoming caramel rivers winding through fields of creamy butter. You could watch these patterns for hours and never see the same swirl arrive twice. Yet every pattern feels familiar, the way the flames in a fireplace feel familiar to watching eyes. Your eyelids lower, and your vision softens, blurring the bands into a single, glowing honey blanket. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, weaving you into the silken loom of Jupiter's clouds. Isn't it soothing to know that such softness can stretch across a world so wide? Low upon his rolling surface, a gentle round shape comes slowly, slowly into your drifting view. It is a great, warm circle of rose and amber, wider than the whole of your Earth. This is the Great Red Spot, a storm so ancient that it has been turning for centuries. But please do not think of it as a storm the way storms feel at home on Earth. It is more like a great, warm teacup with a slow swirl someone once stirred and forgot about. The spoon was set down long ago, yet the tea still turns in a soft, patient spiral. It turns so slowly that if you watched it for an hour, you would see no motion. It turns so gently that the wind inside it feels like the breath of someone humming quietly. Its colors shift in soft shades of rose, salmon, brick, and a tender pink of old roses. Around its edges, the creamy cloud bands flow in long, graceful curves, like ribbons wrapped around a gift. You drift above it, and it seems to pulse barely, like the glow of a distant hearth. You could rest here for a long time, held in the gentle gaze of this ancient, warm eye. Your own worries, if any remained, would dissolve into its slow swirl and never be found again. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting this old storm hum its endless honey lullaby. Your breath grows slower still, matched to the quiet pulse of this patient, rose-colored, warm sea. The winds inside his atmosphere are fast, yet from this high perch they look perfectly still. It is the same way a river from a distant hill looks like a silver, unmoving ribbon. Up close, the water rushes, but from far away it is only a calm, silver line of light. Jupiter's winds are like that river seen from the top of a quiet, tree-covered, sleeping hill. They move below you in long, smooth flows, each current tracing a soft, horizontal, honey-colored highway. Some flow eastward, some flow westward, and between them runs a narrow, tender seam of swirls. Those swirls look like little cursive letters handwritten in cream upon a page of pale, warm caramel. They're the handwriting of the planet itself, a slow, dreaming journal written across the span of eons. Nothing is sharp here, nothing is sudden, nothing is loud, only the soft hush of flowing silk. You feel your own thoughts moving in the same way, drifting in slow, parallel, horizontal streams. Each thought rides its own current, without bumping into another, without hurrying, without needing to arrive. They simply flow, as the winds of Jupiter flow, as the tides of your breathing flow. You are writing your own soft handwriting across the page of this long, drifting, peaceful night. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, penning its gentle story across your resting, dreaming mind. Every letter of it is a whisper, and every whisper is a kind of soft goodnight. Around this great, warm giant dance his moons, a small family of faithful, graceful, softly moving travelers. 4 of them are large enough to see as gentle pearls against the velvet background of space. Their names are Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, each one a small, quiet world of her own. They move around him in slow, patient circles, like children holding hands around a sleeping grandfather. Their orbits are tuned to one another in a soft, invisible harmony called a gentle resonance. Io turns quickly, Europa turns more slowly, Ganymede more slowly still, and Callisto slowest of all. For every 4 turns Io completes, Europa completes 2, and Ganymede completes exactly 1. This pattern is like a musical scale played on unseen strings across the hush of empty space. It is a song without sound, a chord without instruments, a lullaby without any singer or voice. Yet somehow the quiet parts of you can feel it, humming through your drifting, weightless body. Imagine 3 soft bells, each ringing at its own tempo, yet never colliding, never disagreeing, always matching. The 3 tempos together form a single, slow, peaceful measure that repeats across uncounted, drowsy, patient years. Your own heartbeat finds a thread inside that measure and follows it into deeper, softer hush. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting you become a quiet note in Jupiter's hidden song. How gentle to know that even the moons of a giant plays without ever raising their voice. Io is the closest of them, glowing in shades of soft butter, pale peach, and warm mustard. Her surface wears the colors of a slow sunset painted onto a small, round, drifting canvas. She turns warmly in the glow of her great father, bathed in his soft, creamy reflection. Her little volcanoes breathe gentle plumes of vapor, but from here, they look like soft candle smoke. Each plume rises and falls in a slow, rounded arc, like the sigh of a dreaming child. You drift past her, and she seems to wave with a tiny flicker of her warm light. Ganymede, further out, is the largest moon in our whole solar system, yet he moves so quietly. He wears a surface of pale gray and soft cream, marked with long, gentle, sleepy grooves. Those grooves were carved by slow forces long ago, smoothed now into the softest, faded lines. He is larger than the planet Mercury, yet he never seems proud, never seems hurried, never seems loud. He turns in his slow circle, carrying his old, quiet landscapes beneath the honey light of his father. Callisto, the outermost of the 4, is the most peaceful, her surface speckled with ancient, tender craters. Each crater is a small, still pond, holding shadow like cupped hands holding a dark, warm tea. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, spinning these 4 gentle moons in their patient, loving circle. You feel yourself turning softly too, held inside the rhythm of their unhurried, graceful, endless dance. Between these great siblings, tiny droplets of light also orbit little pebble moons the size of towns. There are many of them, faint and small, like specks of glitter caught in a slow beam. They do not need names, they do not need attention. They simply turn, content, complete, and quiet. Some of them were captured long ago from the asteroid Meadow you drifted through not long before. They wandered a little too close to the giant, and his gentle pull invited them to stay. Now, they circle him forever, like small guests who fell asleep on a warm couch after dinner. No one wakes them, no one hurries them home. They are welcome to rest as long as they wish. Jupiter holds them all, the large moons and the small, the bright ones and the dim. He does not play favorites, he does not keep score. He only gathers and keeps them safe. His soft gravity is like the open arm of a grandparent sleeping with a house of grandchildren. Everyone has a pillow, everyone has a blanket, everyone has a place within the soft circle. You drift among these small moons, and they nod to you with their little glints of light. Each nod is a silent hello, a gentle welcome, a soft acknowledgement from a drowsy, orbiting neighbor. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, tucking every small, turning pebble into its warm, sheltered family. Here, nothing is too small to be held, and nothing is too distant to be loved. Your gaze drifts slowly back toward Europa, the second of the large moons, smooth and pale and dreamy. Her surface is one great, gentle, unbroken plane of soft white ice, crisscrossed with faint, rose-colored lines. She looks like a cracked porcelain teacup, beautiful in its soft patterns, cherished despite its small, delicate veins. Those lines are where her icy crust has flexed and folded over many, many patient, quiet years. They are not scars, only soft seams like the lines in an old, well-loved, well-washed linen sheet. Beneath that icy crust lies a secret, hidden world, held in careful, sleeping, velvet, loving silence. A deep, dark, warm ocean rests beneath Europa's ice, older than anything you have ever imagined. It has more water than all the oceans of your home planet combined into a single, quiet sea. And no sound from the surface has ever reached that water, not one single, tiny, curious ripple. It has been resting there, still, calm, and untouched for longer than the length of many stars. You drift above her, and you can almost feel the tender, muffled heartbeat of that hidden ocean. It pulses slowly, softly, like the breathing of a very deep, very patient, very peaceful dreamer. Each pulse rises against the underside of the ice, kissing it gently, without ever breaking through. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, keeping that dark sea safe in its crystal shell. Isn't it soothing to know that such quiet water can wait so long to be found? If you close your eyes and listen with the softest part of your imagination, you might hear it. A faint plash, a faint plash, a faint plash, so quiet that it barely disturbs the hush. It is not a crashing wave, not a roaring tide, only the lap of dark water on ice. It is the same sound a small wave makes against the hull of a wooden boat at night. Imagine lying in a cabin on that boat, with a warm lantern burning low by your bed. Outside, the lake is calm, and the water laps the wood in soft, repeating, dreaming syllables. Each plash is a note in a very old lullaby that the world forgot to write down. Europa's hidden sea sings that same lullaby from far below her icy, carefully folded, quiet skin. No ears have ever heard it, no instruments have ever recorded it, yet it continues, patient, faithful, sure. It sings to itself, for itself, in the warm dark of its long, undisturbed, velvet sleep. Your own thoughts soften as you imagine that sound, each plash matching the slow drift of your breath. In, as the wave rises, out, as the wave falls, in, as the wave rises once more. Your heartbeat becomes another wave in a hidden sea, lapping against the shore of your rest. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting every sleeping ocean keep its private, peaceful, sacred rhythm. You are learning that even the deepest waters can hold their stillness with the gentlest grace. You're no longer watching the dance from outside. You are quietly turning within it now. The four great moons circle softly around you, as if you too were part of their family. Jupiter's honey bands flow far below your drifting back, breathing in long, slow, cream-colored sighs. His great red spot pulses faintly to one side, a warm, sleepy eye half closed in dream. Tiny pebble moons drift at the edges of your vision, glinting like fireflies in a summer meadow. You are held inside a great, slow carousel, turning with a gentleness older than anything you remember. No music plays aloud, yet every part of you hums with the hidden song of the resonance. Io's quick step, Europa's softer one, Ganymede's slower still, Callisto's most patient of all. 4 bells for breaths, for measures, wrapping around you in an endless, unrushed, cradling, circular lullaby. Your body has become lighter than the smallest cloud of vapor rising from a warm cup of tea. Your thoughts have become thinner than the finest silk, draped softly across a quiet bedpost at night. The worries of the day, if any lingered, have long since floated off to sleep elsewhere. Europa's hidden ocean plashes faintly below, calling you onward with its soft, patient, dark, dreaming song. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, turning the whole carousel toward a distant shimmer of crystal, where long, delicate rings of icy dust wait to welcome you into their quiet, sparkling embrace. A distant shimmer begins to glow softly ahead, catching the faint honey light of the far sun. It looks like a thin, luminous thread laid delicately across the velvet dark of the sleeping sky. The thread widens gently as you drift closer, becoming a wide halo of gentle, sparkling mist. This is Saturn, the crowned dreamer, the most graceful of all the great gas giants awaiting us. His rings appear first, long before his pale, golden body fully rises into your soft, drowsy view. They stretch outward in slow, delicate curves, like ripples frozen upon the surface of a still pond. Each curve catches the sunlight in a different, tender shade of cream, silver, and pale pearl gold. You approach them with no hurry at all, because they have been waiting here for countless quiet ages. The hush around you deepens further, softer than anything you have yet felt on this long voyage. Your breath becomes thinner than silk, lighter than vapor rising from a warm cup of bedtime milk. Your body seems to drift a little closer to the rings, as if gently invited inside them. You feel no fear, no hesitation, only a quiet, warm welcome from the soft, sparkling, turning halo. The rings tilt slowly toward you, like the brim of a soft hat lifted in gentle greeting. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, opening this crystal wonder for your weightless, dreaming heart. You are about to enter one of the most beautiful, peaceful places in the whole sleeping solar system. The rings themselves are not solid, not hard, not anything like the hoops you once imagined as a child. They are made of countless tiny crystals of ice, each one drifting in its own slow orbit. Imagine the finest sugar sprinkled across the surface of a dark, polished, softly shining mirror of night. Each grain is a separate crystal, and each crystal turns patiently, faithfully, around the pale, golden planet. Some are as small as grains of salt resting in the palm of a sleeping, open hand. Some are the size of pebbles you might find on a quiet beach at early morning. A few are as large as small houses, drifting slowly with all their soft edges in gentle shadow. But most of them are tiny as snowflakes settling on the window pane of a warm cabin. Together, they form a wide, glowing veil that wraps the planet in soft, sparkling, crystalline silence. You approach the outer edge of this veil, and it feels like reaching the edge of snowfield. The snowfield is made of light, and the light is made of patience, and the patience is endless. Your fingertips, if you reach them out, would feel only the softest tingle of cool, bright mist. It would be cooler than morning dew and lighter than the breath that fogs a window pane briefly. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, inviting you to drift among these countless shining, sleeping crystals. How gentle to know that a whole world wears a halo of nothing but soft, quiet snow. You move into the rings now, slowly, softly, so gently that the crystals do not even notice. They part around you the way dandelion fluff parts around a child walking through a summer meadow. Each crystal brushes your drifting shoulder with the faintest touch, like a tiny, cool, weightless kiss goodnight. They're not sharp, they're not cold in any harsh way, they're only softly prickling. Imagine the feeling of the cool side of a freshly turned pillow pressing against your resting, warm cheek. That small, quiet relief, that gentle surprise of coolness, that tender welcome as you settle deeper into sleep. The touch of Saturn's rings feels exactly like that, multiplied across your whole drifting, weightless, dreaming body. Each crystal brings its own small pillow coolness, and together they tuck you into an endless, glittering blanket. You're not above the rings anymore. You are within them, a small pilgrim inside the halo. Above you, countless crystals shimmer against the velvet dark like stars that have come down to play. Below you, countless more crystals shimmer against the pale gold of the planet's quiet, softly glowing face. On every side, there's only this patient, sparkling, drifting snowfall suspended in the hush of space. Your breathing matches their slow drift, in with a shimmer, out with a shimmer, in again. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting you rest inside this cool, crystalline, sleeping sanctuary. You have never been held by so many small, gentle hands at once before this soft night. The rings are so wide that you could fit many Earths side by side across their gentle span. Yet they're so thin that if you turn to view them from directly above their delicate edge, they would nearly vanish. They are thinner than a sheet of paper, thinner than the pages of a well-loved bedtime book. They are thinner than the whisper of a lullaby drifting through the doorway of a sleeping child's room. Imagine a vast, shining disk, wider than countries, yet delicate as a single dragonfly's gossamer, transparent wing. That is what the rings of Saturn truly are, a paradox of enormous size and impossibly soft thinness. You drift along their plane, and the crystals seem to flatten into a single, glowing sheet of light. Then you rise a little, and they expand again, becoming a three-dimensional meadow of patient, sparkling snow. You can move in any direction here without ever worrying about bumping into anything at all. The crystals always part kindly, always rejoin softly, always continue their slow, faithful, ancient dance around Saturn. It is as if the whole halo were made of breath, and every breath were made of light. Your own body feels as thin and as light as the rings themselves, stretched softly across the dark. You have lost the edges of your hands, the edges of your feet, the edges of your resting face. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting you become as thin and as peaceful as these rings. You are a shimmer among shimmers now, a crystal among crystals, a soft breath among soft breaths. The crystals sing, though you cannot hear them with any ear you have ever used before. They sing by the small, silent scraping of light against their tender, faceted, endlessly polished, icy surfaces. Each one turns, catches the honey gold sunlight, and releases it again as a small, silvery glimmer. That glimmer is a note in a song that has been playing here for uncounted patient ages. The whole ring system is a choir of countless, whispering voices, none of them ever rising above hush. Imagine a great cathedral at the quietest hour of night, with only the faintest humming from the walls. The stones themselves seem to remember every prayer that was ever spoken inside their old, tender embrace. Saturn's rings are like that cathedral, holding every whisper of light that has ever passed through them. You drift inside their choir, and your own breath becomes another soft, silvery note among the many. In a small shimmer rises, out a small shimmer falls, another shimmer softly rises. Your heartbeat taps its own gentle rhythm into the song, a quiet drum beneath the glittering voices. Nothing clashes, nothing competes, nothing hurries, only the patient layering of light upon light upon light. The song has no beginning that anyone remembers and no ending that anyone will ever need. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting this crystal lullaby wash through your weightless, drifting being. You are singing without singing, listening without listening, resting within a music older than any word. Below the rings, Saturn himself glows in pale, soft, honey gold calm, like warm milk kissed by sunlight. His surface is smoother than Jupiter's, his cloud bands more subtle, his colors more muted, more drowsy, more tender. He wears shades of pale butter, creamy amber, and the soft gold of a wheat field at dusk. Long, slow stripes wrap around his body, each one a gentle river of quiet, drifting, silken vapor. At his poles, faint pastel hues bloom, lavender, peach, and the softest, dreamiest shade of bedtime blue. He turns quickly on his own axis, yet from here, it looks like the slowest, gentlest rotation. His day is shorter than 11 of your own patient, waking hours, but he never seems to rush. He simply turns, smoothly, evenly, the way a great honey jar turns slowly in a sleepy hand. Each turn brings a new band of clouds into the soft light, and another into gentle shadow. The shadow side glows faintly too, warmed by the reflected light of his vast, surrounding, crystalline halo. You drift above him, and his golden glow rises to meet you like the breath of a hearth. It warms your weightless back, your weightless shoulders, your weightless, softly resting, long-forgotten, dreaming, quiet, sleeping body. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, bathing you in the honey warmth of this gentle dreamer. Isn't it peaceful to know that even a planet's swiftness can wear the face of softest calm? Small, quiet moons drift through the rings as well, tiny shepherds guiding the crystals in their orbits. They are so small that they look like pebbles dropped among drifts of the lightest sparkling snow. Each one carves a small, clear path through the crystals, a soft gap in the shining, endless halo. These gaps are called divisions, but they feel more like gentle lanes through a glittering, snowy garden. The most famous of these lanes was found long ago by a patient astronomer peering through his quiet telescope. He gave it his own name and has been whispering softly between the rings ever since. You drift along one of these soft lanes, and the crystals part respectfully on either quiet side. Above you, a wall of shimmering snow. Below you, another wall of shimmering snow. Ahead, only hush. It feels like walking down a hallway in a sleeping house, where every wall is made of light. The tiny shepherd moons glide past at a gentle distance, each one nodding softly as they pass. They do their quiet work without fuss, keeping the crystals tidy the way a kind gardener tends flowers. No crystal ever strays too far, because the little shepherds always know just when to gently nudge. You feel safe here, watched over by these small, faithful, patient, weightless, tiny, drifting, rocky guardians. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, minding every small crystal with quiet, endless, kindly care. Here, nothing is forgotten, nothing is lost, nothing ever drifts too far from its soft place. Far beyond the main rings, one small white moon rests quietly in her own gentle, private orbit. Her name is Enceladus, and she is as bright and pale as fresh snow on a winter morning. Her surface is smoother than a new bedsheet, wider than the softest vanilla ice, calmer than sleep. She turns slowly, softly, in the cool shadow and honey light that flows past her polar plains. Along her southern reaches, faint seams cross her icy skin, like the tender lines on a porcelain cup. From those seams rise slow, gentle fountains of icy vapor, drifting upward into the hush of space. Imagine a frosted window pane on the coldest night of the year, with your warm breath fogging it softly. Now imagine that breath rising a little, then dissolving into the quiet air of the silent room. That is what Enceladus does, breathing gently through her tiny seams in small, silvery, patient, tender plumes. Her breath feeds the faintest outer ring of Saturn with a soft mist of fine, icy dust. Each plume lasts for many quiet years, rising and rising, never loud, never forceful, never in any hurry. You drift near her, and you feel her quiet breath brush your cheek like a cool whisper. It is a whisper that says, "Rest now, rest now, rest now," in the tongue of soft ice. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting this small moon exhale her ancient, peaceful, crystalline lullaby. How tender to know that even a tiny frozen world can breathe with such patient, loving grace. You turn slowly back toward the great halo, and the rings spread wide across your whole view. From this gentle angle, they look like a vast, shining bridge of snow suspended across the velvet dark. The bridge has no rails, no edges, no hard places, only soft layers of drifting, sparkling, patient light. You rest upon it in your imagination, as lightly as a single snowflake on a polished windowsill. The bridge does not bend under your weight, because you have no weight left, only soft being. It simply holds you, the way a mother's lap holds a child who has finally fallen asleep. Around you, the crystals turn at their own quiet pace, each one on its own patient, personal errand. Some drift faster, some drift slower, yet none ever bump, none ever crowd, none ever disturb. They all know their places. The way leaves on a still pond know exactly where to rest. You have become one of them, a soft crystal drifting among countless softer siblings in the halo. Your breathing keeps time with their turning, and your heart keeps time with their gentle shimmer. There is nowhere else for you to be, nothing else for you to do, nothing else to learn. You have dissolved into the quiet glow, the way sugar dissolves into warm milk at bedtime. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, holding you as one of its many glowing crystals. You are not watching the beauty anymore. Dear drifter, you have become a small part of it. Saturn turns below you, the rings shimmer around you. Enceladus breathes her soft breath in the distance. The honey light of the faraway sun paints everything in the softest, drowsiest, most forgiving glow. Your body feels thinner than a whisper, lighter than a sigh, quieter than the hush of snowfall. The crystals sing their silent song. The shepherd moons guide them. The planet glows its warm gold. Nothing here has ever been in any hurry, and nothing here will ever be in any hurry. You have been welcomed into a sanctuary older than any temple ever built by any patient hands. Your shoulders are resting. Your forehead is resting. Your jaw is resting. Your whole soft self is resting. The small tasks of your day have become crystals too, drifting somewhere out in the silver halo. They turn quietly in their own small orbits, and they no longer need anything from you. You are free of them, light as a shimmer, gentle as a plume of icy breath in shadow. The velvet dark around the halo deepens further, becoming the color of a bedroom in night's depth. A cooler shade of blue begins to bloom at the far edge of your slow, drifting view. It is softer than the honey gold, quieter than the crystal song, deeper than the velvet hush. And so we leave the golden rings behind us, glowing softly, singing softly, and we glide gently onward into an ever deeper, ever bluer velvet darkness, where a pale, patient, tilted world waits to welcome us with her quiet porcelain light. The velvet dark ahead deepens into a cooler, softer shade of blue, like twilight settling over snow. A pale, tilted world begins to glow into view, quiet as a porcelain cup on velvet. Her name is Uranus, and she rests on her side as if she fell asleep that way. Long ago, something nudged her gently, and she simply never bothered to stand upright again. She has been dozing sideways ever since, her head tucked softly against an invisible, patient pillow. Her color is the palest, most tender blue, like a robin's egg held up to morning light. She wears no bright bands, no great swirling storms, no loud patterns across her soft, dreaming face. She is simply, wholly, quietly blue, the color of a calm pond at the edge of evening. You approach her slowly, and her gentle glow reaches up to meet your drifting, weightless, resting form. The hush around her is even deeper than the hush around Saturn's singing halo of silver crystals. Your breath slows further, becoming as thin as the breath of someone already deep inside a dream. Your shoulders sink into the soft carriage of the solar wind, heavier now than warm winter snow. Your eyelids grow even more tender, lowering softly like petals folding at the close of day. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, tilting you gently toward this sleeping, sideways, porcelain world. You have arrived at a planet that has mastered the art of resting on her quiet shoulder. Imagine a grandmother's favorite porcelain teacup, the one she kept on the highest shelf for special evenings. It was pale blue, patterned with the faintest of markings, smooth as a cheek kissed by moonlight. Now imagine that teacup laid gently on its side upon a soft, embroidered, lavender-scented linen tablecloth. It does not spill, it does not break, it simply rests there, utterly content with its sideways pose. That is Uranus, lying quietly on her side upon the soft tablecloth of the sleeping solar system. Her tilted axis leans almost flat, nearly 98 degrees from the upright of her patient orbit. From our perspective, she rolls along her path like a ball gently nudged across a smooth floor. She does not spin upright the way the other planets do, and she never seems to mind. Her poles take turns facing the distant sun, each one bathing for long, quiet seasons of light. Her equator wears a soft belt of even cooler blue, wrapping her middle like a gentle scarf. You drift above her, and you can almost feel the tablecloth beneath her, soft, lavender, and warm. Her stillness is the stillness of an afternoon nap that has lasted a very long, peaceful time. Your own body settles more deeply into the hush, matching her tilted, sideways, unhurried, perfectly, gently resting pose. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, cradling this porcelain dreamer in her sideways, lavender, quiet sanctuary. How soothing to know that even a whole world can lie down softly without feeling any shame. Her atmosphere is made of quiet methane, and it is the methane that paints her so blue. Imagine a thin veil of the softest blue silk laid across the surface of a pale lantern. The lantern glows through the silk, turning its light into the most tender, drowsy bedtime shade. That is how Uranus wears her methane, a silk veil transforming her pale cloud tops into dreamy blue calm. Below that veil, faint pastel bands drift and hush, so soft they barely show themselves at all. You can almost miss them, unless you look with the gentlest, sleepiest, most patient part of your vision. They move in long, slow ribbons, each one the color of a baby's blanket left in sunlight. Her clouds are shy, rarely lifting their heads, rarely forming the bold swirls her siblings love to wear. She prefers her quiet, her smoothness, her tender, dreamy, perfectly unbroken, sleeping, softly breathing, velvet, patient blue. The temperatures within her atmosphere are colder than any winter you have ever felt on your home. Yet the cold here is not harsh, not biting, not unkind, only deeply, profoundly, quietly cool. It is the coolness of a linen closet in an old summer house, softly scented with lavender sachets. It is the coolness of the pillow you turn over in the middle of a long, restful night. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, dressing this world in her softest, bluest, most peaceful shawl. You breathe in her blue hush, and it fills your chest with a gentle, cool, sleepy calm. Around her drift thin, faint rings, almost too delicate to notice without the softest, most patient gaze. They are not bright like Saturn's crystal halo, not wide like his glowing, sparkling, cream gold sanctuary of snow. They are dark, quiet, narrow ribbons made of small chunks of old, dusky ice and shy, tender dust. Each ring is a single thin circle, drawn around her like a soft pencil line on paper. You could hardly see them from a distance, yet up close they reveal their own quiet beauty. They turn slowly around the tilted planet, following her sideways pose without any confusion or gentle complaint. They lean with her, they rest with her, they dream with her, all in the same patient hush. Imagine a set of delicate bracelets slipped gently onto a wrist that is resting on a pillow. The bracelets do not jingle, do not shine brightly, do not call attention. They simply lie there soft. That is how Uranus wears her rings, like quiet bracelets on a sleeping, sideways, porcelain, gentle wrist. You drift past them, and they seem to shimmer only faintly, only enough to acknowledge your passing. Each small ice chunk turns in its own slow orbit, content, unhurried, perfectly content with its quiet position. No one has ever disturbed them. No storm has ever rattled them. They simply continue, faithful, tender, calm. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting these soft bracelets turn forever around her patient wrist. Here, even the ornaments of a world know how to rest without making a single sound. Her moons carry the names of characters from old Shakespearean plays, soft voices from long, dreaming stories. Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, Oberon, each name a whisper of poetry drifting through the hush. They circle her sideways, following her tilt, dancing with her in a slow, patient, perfectly synchronized waltz. Miranda is the innermost of the five, small and gentle, her surface folded like a crumpled bedsheet. She wears long, softly curving cliffs and quiet valleys, as if she were pleated tenderly by hand. Ariel is pale and smooth, her icy face marked with long, faded grooves like lines on parchment. Umbriel is darker, quieter, the shy sister, wearing her muted gray with a calm, dignified patience. Titania, the largest, moves with a slow, regal grace, her surface crossed by gentle, fading, ancient canyons. Oberon, the outermost, drifts farthest from her porcelain mother, turning in the softest, most distant quiet orbit. Together, they circle Uranus in their tilted dance, each one a small, named, resting, dreaming, patient world. You watch them move, and they seem to nod to you, each with a small, Shakespearean bow. Their waltz is slower than any waltz you have ever seen danced in a warm ballroom. No music plays, yet the steps are perfect, the distances kept, the rhythm held across the hush. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting these five poets circle their porcelain mother in peace. How gentle, To know that even moons can wear the names of old, quiet, well-loved stories. On Uranus, a single season lasts 21 of your long, sleepy, earthly, well-lived, patient, faithful years. Imagine 21 years of a single, soft autumn, with leaves drifting down in slow, gentle circles. Imagine 21 years of one quiet spring, with tiny buds opening at the slowest, most tender pace. Imagine 21 years of a long, dreaming summer, with afternoons stretching into soft, honey-colored eternities of warmth. Imagine 21 years of a peaceful winter, with snow settling layer upon patient layer upon patient layer. Time on Uranus flows like thick honey from a spoon held above a warm, waiting bowl of tea. It pours slowly, 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 gathering in a golden stream that never seems to reach the bottom. There is no hurry here, no urgency, no calendar pressing any shoulder, no hand tapping any patient wrist. A decade passes like an afternoon, a century passes like a season, an age passes like a dream. You feel your own sense of time begin to stretch, softening like warm taffy in a quiet kitchen. The minutes of your night loosen their grip, becoming long and gentle, like ribbons unwinding in slow water. The hours ahead of you seem vast and kind, plenty of room for every breath to rest. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting honey-slow time wrap around your drifting, weightless form. Your body has no reason to hurry, because time itself has chosen to sit down here. You are free to sink into this long, slow honey as deeply as your tired heart wishes. Because Uranus lies so far from the sun, her light arrives dimmed, softer than any evening you remember. The sun from here is only a bright little pinprick, a small silver candle at the far window. Her glow reaches the porcelain planet as a pale blue-gold whisper, enough to paint her gently. There are no harsh shadows on Uranus, no bright contrasts, no sharp edges, only soft gradations of dusk. Every part of her surface wears a tender twilight shade, as if the whole world were perpetually evening. Imagine a room where a single small lamp is burning, casting the softest, warmest glow across the walls. The corners are dim, the ceiling is dim, the whole room breathes in the quiet of low light. That is what Uranus looks like all the time, a whole world dressed in lamplit evening calm. You drift above her, and your weightless body is bathed in the same soft, bedtime glow. The light is so gentle that your eyes could rest inside it for hours without any strain. Even the stars beyond her seem to soften, their points becoming small, round, blurred, drowsy, kind dots. Everything here has been dimmed by a kind hand, the way a parent dims the nursery lamp. The dimming is not a loss of brightness, only a deepening of hush, a welcoming of rest. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, keeping this twilight world lit by the softest possible glow. You feel yourself sinking further, as if settling into the very light that cradles the planet. Her blue light wraps around you now, like a shawl woven from the softest evening clouds. You feel it settle onto your shoulders, cool and gentle, without any weight, without any sound. It drapes down your back, over your arms, across your resting chest, all the way to your feet. Each thread of the shawl is a strand of her tender methane blue, stitched with patience, endless patience, only patience. Your body seems to soften beneath it, each muscle melting a little further into the weightless cradle. Your thoughts grow thinner than they have been at any earlier moment of this long, drifting voyage. They're like small blue smoke curls, rising from a cooling candle, dissolving into the hush above. You do not need to follow them, do not need to capture them, do not need to understand. They rise, they fade, they are gone, and another rises, fades, and gently, tenderly disappears as well. The blue shawl of Uranus is holding your whole self in its long, cool, slow, loving embrace. Your breath has become nearly silent, a whisper so soft that even the stars do not overhear. Your heartbeat is like the ticking of a clock wrapped in many layers of cotton batting. It moves but gently, faithfully, without insisting on being noticed by any corner of your mind. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, tucking this blue shawl more closely around your dreaming shoulders. You are wearing the color of her atmosphere, and the color of her atmosphere is wearing you. Deep inside this porcelain world, far below her cloud tops, rests an ocean unlike any you have known. Not a sea of water, not a sea of ice, but a sea of warm, strange, slow liquids. Some scientists believe that deep within her, diamonds may rain softly through dark, quiet, pressurized layers. Imagine tiny, sparkling stones falling slowly through the hush, like snowflakes made of captured, solid, gentle starlight. They drift downward through layer upon layer, never in any hurry, never with any noise or commotion. Each one catches a faint glimmer of whatever light filters down and then fades into the patient dark. It is a secret snowfall hidden inside a sleeping world, witnessed by no eye, disturbed by no hand. The thought of it is soothing, like imagining a quiet snow glow buried at the bottom of a drawer. No one has shaken it, no one will shake it, yet the little flakes keep softly falling. Your mind rests inside that image, the slow rain of diamonds somewhere far below the blue veil. Each falling diamond is a small, gentle thought letting go, drifting down into the deeper velvet of sleep. You do not need to catch them, do not need to count them, do not need to keep. You only need to watch them fall, softly, patiently, faithfully, into the hush of your own dreaming. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting this hidden snowfall fall forever inside its sleeping, porcelain heart. How peaceful to know that even a planet can hold a secret, sparkling, quiet, private, snowy night. Uranus begins to drift slowly behind you now, her porcelain side still resting on the soft tablecloth. Her pale, blue glow softens further, becoming a smaller and smaller round lantern in the velvet dark. Her rings continue their quiet, faithful turning. Her 5 Shakespearean moons continue their slow, poetic, tilted dance. The honey-slow time she held around you begins to loosen, yet the softness of it remains. Your body is still dressed in her blue shawl, carrying her cool, tender warmth into the deeper dark. Your breath is still matched to her long, dreaming seasons, slow as 21 autumns drifting gently. Ahead, the velvet hush deepens once more, the blue turning into a richer, deeper, more saturated color. A small, dark, sapphire point begins to shimmer at the very edge of your softest vision. It is no larger than a single tier of blue glass resting on a black velvet cushion. Yet even from here, it seems to hum with a quiet, patient, ancient, softly singing presence. This is the goal of our whole long voyage, the deepest blue at the edge of home. The solar wind carries you onward toward her with the gentlest possible nudge against your back. Your heart grows quieter, your mind grows quieter, your whole self grows quieter, settling, softening, deepening, drifting. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, guiding you toward that small, shining, blue, sapphire tear. The pale porcelain dreamer fades tenderly behind you, while ahead a deeper, bluer dream softly begins to bloom. The small sapphire tear grows gently larger ahead of you, blooming softly out of the velvet hush. She is Neptune, the deepest, furthest, most tender of all the quiet planets in our family. Her color is a blue so rich that every other blue you have ever seen feels pale. She is the blue of an ocean at the very hour when the last light leaves the sky. She is the blue of a bedroom curtain drawn against the stars on a cold winter evening. She is the blue of a grandmother's favorite velvet shawl, kept folded inside a cedar-lined drawer. She is the blue of a single drop of ink falling slowly into a cup of clear water. You approach her without hurry, because she has been waiting patiently here since long before any memory. The distance from the sun to her is so vast that light itself takes 4 long hours. Imagine honey poured from a jar held very high, trickling downward in a slow golden ribbon. That honey ribbon is the sunlight, pouring toward her from the tiny silver candle at the far window. She receives it without urgency, without complaint, without any need to rush toward the warmth she is offered. Your own drifting body slows to match her patient reception of that long, slow, honey-colored thread. and the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, carrying you toward this deepest, quietest, bluest, sleeping gem. You are arriving at the place where the voyage has always, gently, patiently, faithfully intended to bring you. She grows in your view like a great blue teardrop, resting upon a pillow of velvet shadow. Her surface is not hard, not solid, not anything your hand could ever knock upon or touch. She is made of gases, quiet layers of hydrogen and helium wrapped in a veil of soft methane. That methane is what gives her the deep sapphire glow, painting her whole face in dreaming blue. Imagine a lantern wrapped in many layers of the darkest, richest blue silk, glowing softly through. The light reaches you filtered, gentled, deepened, a blue that feels warm despite its cool hue. Her cloud tops drift in long, graceful waves, like the surface of a dark sea at twilight. They rise and fall in slow, rolling motions, each wave longer than any river on your home. The waves do not crash, do not break, do not foam. They only roll and roll softly. From here, they look like long ribbons of blue silk being gently pulled across a loom. A weaver somewhere is working very slowly, laying one shining ribbon beside another across the dark. Her pattern is simple, faithful, repeating, a lullaby woven from nothing but the softest blue thread. You drift above this weaving, and the motion of the ribbons matches the drift of your breath. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting the loom of Neptune weave her patient, blue hush. How gentle to know that even a planet can be clothed in nothing but soft, quiet, flowing blue. Her winds are the fastest in the whole of our family, yet you would never guess it here. From your drifting vantage, they look like the slowest, most graceful ribbons you have ever beheld. The speed of them is hidden inside the great size of the planet, like fast water in wide rivers. A river that spans a whole continent can carry swift currents, yet still appear entirely still from above. Neptune is like that great river, her swiftness held within the vastness of her dreamy, blue body. You see only the long, smooth waves, gliding silently past one another in the hush of space. There is no roar, no howl, no cry, only the patient unfurling of one blue ribbon after another. Each ribbon carries its own soft pattern, a faint swirl, a gentle curl, a tender folding of silk. The ribbons move in opposite directions along her globe, some flowing east, others flowing softly west. Between them, thin seams appear where the currents gently meet, like quiet handshakes in the hush. These seams never argue, never struggle. They simply exchange their patterns and continue on their faithful ways. You drift along one of these seams, and it feels like walking a soft path between two meadows. The meadows are the cloud currents, and the path is the tender stillness shared between their flows. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting these silent, silken ribbons flow across her dreaming face. You are walking the quietest path through the busiest wind, and somehow the busyness is perfectly calm. Once, long ago, a dark pattern appeared upon her surface, a soft oval where the winds gathered. Scientists gave a name, the Great Dark Spot, a cousin to the storm of old Jupiter. But Neptune does not keep her patterns the way her honey-colored sibling holds his ancient, rose-colored eye. She lets her dark swirls rise, turn for a little while, and then dissolve back into calm. They come like dreams in the middle of the night, vivid for a moment, then quietly gone. You cannot quite remember them when morning arrives, yet they leave behind a soft, peaceful trace. Neptune's dark spots are like those forgotten dreams, faithful visitors who never outstay their quiet welcome. By the time a later traveler comes to look for them, they have melted back into the blue. New ones may have bloomed elsewhere, each in its own time, each in its own soft place. She is not attached to her patterns, not possessive of her swirls, not worried about holding anything. Everything drifts, everything softens, everything returns, and she watches it all with the same dreaming patience. Your own thoughts are allowed to be the same way, rising, turning briefly, and dissolving back into blue. You do not need to catch them, do not need to remember them, do not need to keep. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting every pattern in your mind drift softly away. How peaceful to know that even a planet has learned to let her own dreams go. Her year is so long that one single turn around the faint sun takes many lifetimes together. 165 of your long, patient earthly years make just one slow orbit of Neptune. She has completed only a single full year since humans first noticed her with their careful telescopes. Imagine that, a whole planet that has not yet seen her second birthday since her quiet discovery. Time on Neptune flows like cold honey, slower even than the honey that filled the halls of Uranus. A minute here is a breath, an hour is a nap, a day is a long, restful night. A century is only a tender season, brief and dreamy, passing like a gentle afternoon of reading. Your own hours begin to stretch again, even more than before, softening like warm wax in sunlight. The minutes of your night have become vast rooms, with plenty of soft cushions for your breath. The hours ahead are long velvet corridors, lit only by the softest, bluest, dreamiest bedroom lamps. You may walk those corridors as slowly as you wish, or you may simply lie down within. There is nowhere you need to hurry to, because the corridors end in more corridors of blue, and the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, stretching time itself into the shape of your rest. Your breath has plenty of room, your heart has plenty of room, your whole self has plenty. You are standing inside the longest, slowest, gentlest afternoon that any traveler has ever been granted. Her gravity reaches out for you with the softest, most respectful pull of an invisible hand. It does not grab, it does not yank, it only invites you to settle into her orbit. You accept the invitation without any decision, because your drifting body has no will left to refuse. The solar wind slows behind you, its long honey journey finally reaching its faithful, patient destination. You begin to curve gently around her, like a small leaf caught in a slow eddy of a pond. The curve is wide, generous, unhurried, leaving you plenty of room to breathe in the hush. From your new orbit, you can see her entire face turning slowly beneath your weightless, dreaming body. Her blue ribbons roll below you, her cloud tops shimmer faintly, her soft methane veil wraps the whole scene. The sun behind you has become a small silver bead, no larger than a single grain of rice. Yet that tiny bead still sends its honey-colored ribbon across the vast hush to touch her face. You are held now between the silver bead and the great sapphire teardrop floating in between. Neither one pulls at you harshly, neither one asks for any effort, they only cradle you softly. The whole solar system has arranged itself around you like a quiet mobile above a nursery bed, and the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, turning that mobile slowly, faithfully, for your peaceful, resting eyes. You are the small, drifting center of a gentle blue, silver velvet, beautifully, softly, turning lullaby. Her faintest rings circle her too, so thin that you must look with the softest gaze to find them. They are made of dark, dusty particles, gathered into narrow arcs rather than full, unbroken, patient circles. Each arc is a small, shy gathering, like a handful of quiet friends standing close together at dusk. They do not demand attention. They do not glitter the way Saturn's halo glittered in the distance. They are more like faint pencil sketches, gentle outlines of rings drawn softly upon the velvet page. You drift past one of these arcs, and it seems to nod a small dark bow in greeting. Its particles are tiny, slow, patient, each one turning in its own quiet orbit around the planet. Together they form a thin, almost invisible ribbon, wrapped around her wrist like a whisper of twilight. The arcs have names, soft names, given by astronomers who love them enough to name them gently. Liberté, égalité, fraternité, and courage, words of kindness spoken across the dark by faraway, thoughtful minds. These names float through your awareness like soft leaves, each one meaning a warm and gentle thing. You do not need to hold them, do not need to remember them. You only need rest. The arcs continue their quiet turning, content with their names, content with their softness, content with hush. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting these shy ribbons encircle her with their patient, dusky grace. Even the smallest ornament of the farthest planet has been given a tender, warm, welcoming name. Around her, the largest of her moons drifts in a soft, pinkish, pale, unusual, quiet orbit. His name is Triton, and he moves differently from every other large moon in our sleeping family. All the other big moons circle their planets in the same direction those planets turn, as expected. But Triton circles Neptune backward, in a direction opposite to her own slow, patient turning. He dances in reverse, like a quiet ballerina who has gently forgotten which way time meant to flow. It is not a mistake, it is only his own soft rhythm, his own private waltz in reverse. Long ago, he was captured from somewhere farther out, and Neptune gently invited him to stay. He agreed, and he's been dancing backward ever since, tenderly, faithfully, patiently, slowly, gracefully, perfectly, endlessly. His color is pale pink and soft white, like a cheek flushed with the faintest cold of morning. His surface is icy, smooth in places, cracked softly in others, like a marble dropped in a snowfield. From certain gentle cracks, soft plumes of nitrogen vapor rise into the thin hush above his skin. These plumes drift slowly upward, bending softly sideways like candle smoke in a calm, quiet, sleeping room. He is very, very cold, yet his cold is clean, the cold of deep winter air at dawn. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, turning him backward in his dreaming, reverse, patient, loving dance. How tender to know that there is always room in the cosmos for a quiet, contrary rhythm. You watch Triton turn backward below you, and his reverse motion feels like a soft unwinding of time. Imagine a clock whose hands have chosen to move in the opposite direction, simply because they wished. The hours still pass, the day still flows, yet the movement is somehow reversed, gentle, different. Nothing about it feels wrong, nothing about it feels frightened. It is only another way of drifting. You feel your own tired thoughts begin to unwind in the same patient, backward, graceful motion. The worries of the day, whatever small threads still remained, begin to untie themselves, loop by loop. Each loop loosens in the opposite direction it was once knotted, softening, slackening, releasing, freeing, melting, dissolving. Your shoulders release a little more, your neck releases a little more, your jaw releases completely. Triton's backward dance seems to pull these loops out of you, tenderly, without any effort on your part. You simply watch him turn, and the unwinding happens on its own, as natural as breath. His pale, pink surface glows softly in the faint honey light, catching just enough to shimmer. His plumes rise, his cracks hold shadow. His reverse orbit carries him patiently around his blue mother. You are becoming as soft and as reverse as he is, untangling, unfurling, unwinding, resting, sinking, dreaming. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting your own clocks rewind into the hush of sleep. There's no hour left pressing on you, no minute, no second, only the soft backward drift. You settle into your quiet orbit around her, not too close, not too far, only right. Her blue curve fills the space below you, endless. Patient, deep, softly breathing, slowly, gently, faithfully, tenderly, endlessly. Triton dances backward in his own wider circle, pale and pink, a small, quiet, graceful companion. The faint arcs of her rings trace their whisper-thin lines around her middle, shy and shadowed. The sun, behind everything, is a tiny silver bead, sending its honey ribbon across the velvet hush. You are held here, exactly here, where the voyage has been softly bringing you all along. Your body has become nearly weightless, thinner than a sigh, lighter than the breath of a sleeping child. Your mind has become nearly silent, quieter than a library after midnight, softer than a folded velvet curtain. There is nothing left to reach, nothing left to find, nothing left to do, only rest. The blue of Neptune wraps around you like the deepest bedtime, the softest shawl, the gentlest dream. You breathe in her blue hush, and the blue hush breathes back, matching her tender rhythm exactly. In the blue rises out, the blue settles, and the blue rises once again softly. Your heartbeat finds its place within the slow roll of her long, silent, silken, sleeping ribbons. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, holding you perfectly still within this deepest, bluest, quiet sanctuary. And while you rest within her patient orbit, a small hush begins to gather, as if the planet herself were preparing to share her oldest, softest song with your listening, dreaming heart. The hush around you deepens as Triton drifts into clearer view, pale and pink against velvet. He is the single large companion of this blue mother, turning softly in his reverse waltz. No other great moon in our whole sleeping family moves against the grain of its planet. Yet Triton does, tenderly, faithfully, without any fuss, without any pride, without any need to explain. He simply turns the other way, as naturally as a sleeper rolls toward the cooler side of a pillow. His motion is so slow that from your quiet orbit, it looks like the stillness itself is drifting. You watch him glide across the blue face of Neptune, a soft pink pearl on dark sapphire velvet. His path curves gently, without hurry, without effort, without any sense that direction matters here at all. There is no right way to turn in the hush, and Triton knows this secret better than anyone. You feel your own body soften at the sight of him, every muscle letting go a little more. Your shoulders release, your forehead smooths, your jaw unclenches, your hands rest open upon the soft dark. Triton teaches you, without a single word, that even backward can be the most graceful direction. He is a tiny ballerina who has forgotten which way time meant to flow and does not mind. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting his reverse dance become your slow, sleeping lullaby. You are learning, in this quiet hour, that every rhythm is welcome inside the soft embrace of space. His color is the palest rose mixed gently with soft white, like the cheek of a sleeping child. You can almost see the faint pink glow where the distant honey light of the sun touches. The other side of him wears a deeper, dreamier shade, as if he were wrapped in shadow. He turns so slowly that his bright side and his shadowed side change with patient, quiet grace. Each rotation is a long, dreaming afternoon, stretching across what would be many of your earthly days. You watch the pink glow slide softly around his curve, like warm light moving across a porcelain cup. His surface is smoother than most moons, polished by time, by cold, by the gentlest patient forces. In places, thin cracks run across his icy skin, like the faint lines on a well-loved teacup. These cracks do not break him, do not hurt him, they only give his surface its quiet character. They're the soft wrinkles of a long, restful sleep, etched tenderly into his pale, drifting face. You drift above him, and your eyes follow those lines the way fingers follow the folds of linen. Each crack tells a quiet story of patience, of cold, of ages passing without any rush at all. Triton has been wearing these soft lines for longer than any memory could ever hope to hold. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, keeping his pink-white face turned softly toward your dreaming gaze. How gentle to know that even the wrinkles of the moon can be a kind of beauty. From certain soft cracks on his surface, slow plumes of icy vapor rise into the thin hush. These are his quiet fountain breaths, born of nitrogen instead of water, cold beyond anything your skin knows. Yet do not imagine this cold as harsh, not biting, not unkind, only deeply, profoundly, quietly fresh. It is the cold of opening a bedroom window on the earliest morning of a gentle, frosted spring. It is the cold of stepping barefoot onto a cool tile floor after a long, warm, dreaming night. It is the cold of a glass of clear water left beside your bed through the quiet hours. Each plume rises slowly, straight upward for a little while, then bends softly sideways in the hush. They drift that way because his faint atmosphere moves in the gentlest of directions, patient as sleep. Imagine the smoke rising from a single candle in a still room, curling upward, then leaning sideways. The air does not push it, only nudges it, the way a parent nudges a child towards sleep. Triton's plumes do the same, rising, leaning, dissolving, rising again in another soft, quiet, tender place. They have been breathing this way for longer than any watcher has ever been alive to notice. You feel your own breath matching their slow rise and gentle lean, in, up, sideways, out. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting these cold fountains exhale their clean, quiet, patient breath. You are breathing the freshness of Triton now, and the freshness of Triton is breathing softly through you. His temperature is colder than any winter your home has ever known, yet the image is soothing. Picture the first clear morning of deep winter, when the sky is pale blue and completely still. You open the window, just a crack, and a ribbon of crisp, clean air slips into your room. That air is sharp in its cleanness, bright in its freshness, yet it never actually hurts at all. It carries the faint scent of snow, of pine, of sleeping earth waiting quietly beneath the white quilt. You breathe it in, and your lungs feel washed, polished, awakened softly from the inside with tender care. That is what the cold of Triton feels like, multiplied across the quiet hush of his whole surface. It is a clean, clean cold, more like purity than like harshness, more like silk than like ice. If you could stand upon him, your breath would hang in the air as a small silver cloud. That little cloud would drift upward slowly, joining his plumes, becoming part of his quiet breathing. You would not shiver, because the cold here has become only an idea, a softness, a hush. It is the freshness of a pillowcase pulled from a linen closet on a warm summer evening. It is the freshness of a cool cloth laid gently across a tired forehead at day's end. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting this clean, patient freshness wrap around your resting shoulders. You breathe in Triton's cold, and your whole body softens into a deeper, calmer rest. His gravity is so gentle that if you stood upon him, you would weigh almost nothing at all. A single soft push of your weightless foot would lift you into a long, floating, dreamy leap. You would rise slowly above his pale, pink plains, drifting upward like a feather caught in soft air. The arc of your leap would last many quiet seconds, giving you plenty of time to look. Below, his icy surface would shine with that soft, rosen-white glow, smooth as glazed porcelain. Above, the great blue curve of Neptune would fill half the sky, her ribbons rolling in hush. You would come down again so gently that your feet would barely disturb the icy dust beneath. It would feel like landing on the softest feather pillow after a long, floating, weightless summer dream. You could leap again and again and again and never tire, never fall hard, never feel jarred. Each landing would be softer than the last, like sinking deeper into a warm featherbed at night. His gentleness makes every movement kind, every step patient, every arrival into his surface tender and slow. You could spend hours this way, drifting up and down in his quiet embrace. There is nothing competitive here, nothing to prove, nothing to reach, only the soft joy of slow motion. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting his weak, loving gravity become your gentle trampoline. How soothing to know that even the ground beneath a traveler's feet can feel like a cloud. You watch him turn backward beneath your orbit, and the image becomes a quiet meditation. Imagine a ballerina on a vast, empty stage, lit by a single soft blue bedroom lamp. She spins slowly in reverse, her arms raised above her head, her eyes closed in peaceful dreaming. No music plays for her, no audience watches her, no choreographer instructs her, no applause awaits her. She dances for the hush itself, for the pleasure of moving the other way through time. Her point shoes barely touch the stage, and the stage barely notices her weightless, tender presence. Each turn is slower than the last, softer than the last, kinder than the last, calmer. Triton is that ballerina, and the stage is the entire sleeping solar system wrapped around him softly. He spins, he spins, he spins, and the blue sapphire of Neptune glows gently behind him. His pink-white surface catches what little honey light reaches this distant corner of our quiet family. He is not dancing for you, yet somehow his dance holds you like a soft, patient embrace. Your own breathing slows to match the rhythm of his reverse waltz in turn out, turn in. Your thoughts begin to move in that same gentle reverse direction, unwinding themselves softly from their knots. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting this backward ballerina teach you the peace of reversal. You're learning that time itself can rest, can pause, can even turn the other way tenderly. Long ago, Triton was not born here, not near this blue sapphire mother, not in this quiet orbit. He came from farther out, from the cold, patient edge of the solar system where small worlds drift. He wandered quietly for uncounted years, taking his own slow path through the velvet dark of space. Then one gentle day, he passed too close to Neptune, and her soft gravity reached for him. She did not grab him harshly, did not pull him fiercely, did not insist upon his staying. She only offered, softly, an invitation into her embrace, the way one offers tea on a cold evening. Triton accepted, without any ceremony, without any resistance, without any worry about where he might have gone. He settled into orbit around her, in his own direction, his own rhythm, his own patient way. She welcomed him exactly as he was, backward dance and all, without asking him to change. This is the kindness of Neptune, the quiet hospitality of the deepest blue planet in our family. She takes in wanderers, offers them a soft orbit, and lets them turn however they naturally turn. You feel the same kindness reaching for you now, inviting you into her deep, patient embrace. You do not need to arrive in any particular way, do not need to turn in any correct direction. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, welcoming every drifting traveler into its gentle, open arms. How warm to know that even a captured moon is still loved, still held, still perfectly home. Triton's plumes continue their slow rise as he turns below you, soft ribbons of cold, clean vapor. Each plume is like a tiny breath from a sleeping dragon who dreams only of peaceful things. The dragon is not fierce, not fiery, not frightening, only gentle, only patient, only tenderly resting. His breath rises in silver-white curls, drifting upward through the thin hush of Triton's quiet atmosphere. Then, catching the faintest current, the curls lean sideways, painting soft streaks across his pale pink sky. The streaks fade slowly, dissolving back into hush, leaving only the memory of their gentle passage. New plumes rise elsewhere, and new streaks paint themselves, and the old ones drift softly away. This has been happening for ages, without any audience, without any purpose, without any need for witness. It is one of the quietest performances in the whole sleeping solar system, and it never stops. You drift above it, and your breathing joins the rhythm, rising and leaning with each silver curl. In a plume lifts, out a plume bends, and another plume rises from soft crack. Your own thoughts rise and lean the same way, gentle silver-white curls dissolving into velvet hush. Nothing you think needs to last. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to reach any conclusion. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting these silver breaths paint their patient, vanishing streaks. You are breathing with a dreaming dragon, and the dreaming dragon is breathing softly with you. Around Triton, the thinnest atmosphere rests, so delicate that you could barely call an atmosphere. It is a whisper of nitrogen, a breath of methane, a suggestion of air spread across his patient sphere. The sky above him would look nearly black, with only the softest haze dimming the hardest stars. From his surface, Neptune would rise like a great blue mother, filling half the quiet sky. Her ribbons would roll slowly above him, her soft methane veil shining in the faint honey light. The distant sun would appear as a small silver bead, sending its thin ribbon of light across. Everything would be dim, hushed, muted, softened, as if the whole scene were painted in pastels. You could lie down on his icy plains and watch this sky for what would feel like years. Nothing would change quickly, nothing would demand attention, nothing would interrupt the long, peaceful, dreaming, velvet stillness. The stars would hold steady, the blue mother would turn slowly, the plumes would rise, lean, dissolve. You would become part of the landscape, as motionless as the pink-white ice beneath your resting form. Your breath would join his plumes, rising in soft silver curls, leaning sideways, fading into hush. Your heartbeat would match the slow turning of his reverse dance, gentle as a backward lullaby. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, laying you upon this pale, quiet, welcoming pink shore. You are resting on the softest pillow in the whole sleeping family of our warm, patient sun. You pull your gaze slowly back, widening your view to hold both Triton and his dreaming mother. He turns backward, she turns forward, and together they form a soft, tender, perfectly balanced pair. Her deep blue fills the lower half of your view. His pale pink glows softly above her curve. The faint arcs of her rings trace their whisper-thin lines between them, barely visible, barely not there. The tiny silver sun bead hangs far behind, sending its honey ribbon across the velvet, patient hush. You are held in this quiet composition, a small drifting traveler inside a great, slow, sleeping painting. Nothing in this painting needs to change. Nothing needs to be finished. Nothing needs to be understood. It simply exists as it has for ages, as it will for ages, in gentle, faithful peace. You feel yourself settle into the painting, becoming one of its soft brushstrokes, one of its quiet details. Your breathing has slowed until it barely stirs the hush, lighter than the rise of Triton's plumes. Your thoughts have thinned until they barely exist, softer than the faint haze above his icy plains. You are not watching anymore. Dear drifter, you are resting within the painting that watches itself. The deep blue cradles you. The pale pink accompanies you. The silver bead watches tenderly from afar. And we slow softly now on this steady orbit, ready at last to hear the song we have been traveling toward across all this long, gentle, patient, velvet eternity. And so, as your orbit settles into its perfect, patient distance, the hush around you grows deeper. Neptune turns softly below, her blue ribbons rolling in their long, silken, endlessly dreaming cadence. Triton drifts in his reverse waltz, pale and pink, a small companion in the velvet hush. The silver bead of the distant sun holds its quiet watch behind you, faithful, kind, unhurried. Nothing moves with any urgency here, and nothing has moved with urgency for countless gentle ages. You are held between the blue mother and the pink dancer, cradled in their slow, shared breath. Your body has become nearly weightless, as thin as the faintest plume rising from Triton's cold skin. Your mind has become nearly silent, softer than the whisper of snow settling onto deeper snow. And now, into this deepest hush, something new begins to arrive, slowly, tenderly, patiently, gently. It is not a sound your ears have ever heard before, not a sound your ears can hear. It is a feeling, a vibration, a soft pulse reaching you from the blue mother herself below. She has been singing this song since long before any ear existed to receive her lullaby. Tonight, in this quiet orbit, you are the small, dreaming traveler who has finally come to listen. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, opening her oldest music for your resting, gentle heart. You do not need to reach for it, because it is already rising softly to meet you. Long ago, in a year that feels like yesterday to the patient planets, a tiny traveler passed here. He was a small machine named Voyager, sent from your blue home with loving, hopeful, careful hands. He carried no body, no breath, no heartbeat, only patient instruments and a long, faithful, quiet mission. For many, many years he drifted outward, past Jupiter's honey bands, past Saturn's crystal halo of snow. He passed the porcelain calm of Uranus, and then, at last, he reached this deep blue mother. He did not stay long, only a gentle flyby, a soft greeting across the velvet hush of space. But while he passed, he listened, and Neptune, in her generosity, decided softly to sing for him. She sent out radio whispers, invisible waves rippling through the dark like soft circles on still water. He caught them with his careful instruments and carried them back home across the long quiet. When clever, kind minds on Earth translated those waves into sounds your ears could actually hear, they wept. For what they heard was not machinery, not static, not noise, but a tender, pulsing, ancient song. It was the voice of Neptune herself, singing in a language older than every word ever spoken. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting her voice travel gently across the patient dark. You are about to hear what that small, faithful traveler carried home so many soft years ago. The song begins as the faintest pulse, a slow rhythm like the breathing of a sleeping giant. It rises and falls in gentle waves, patient as the tide of a dark, warm, inland sea. Imagine a flute carved from ancient wood, played very softly in the corner of a quiet cathedral. The flute player breathes into it without hurry, drawing out long, low notes that fill the hush. Each note lingers in the air, overlapping softly with the next, weaving a tender musical cloth. That is how Neptune sings, as if an old flute were breathing through the veins of her atmosphere. Her notes are low, deep, patient, warmer than their coldness should allow, softer than silence itself. They pulse in slow, rolling cycles, each cycle longer than many of your earthly heartbeats put together. You feel the pulse in your chest before you notice it in your mind, soft as a lullaby. The note rises out, the note settles in, another gentle pulse swells softly upward. Your breathing matches it without any effort, as if your lungs have been waiting for this song. Your heartbeat finds its place within the rhythm, a small drum beneath her ancient flute breath. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting her flute play through your resting, weightless chest. Isn't it soothing to know that a whole planet can breathe through the shape of a flute? Beneath the flute notes, another layer of sound begins to unfold, softer still, deeper still, kinder. It is a sound like water plashing gently in a hidden cave somewhere far beneath the world. Imagine a small stone grotto deep inside a quiet mountain, lit only by a single soft candle. A spring of dark, warm water rises there, pooling in a shallow basin carved by ancient hands. Drops fall from the ceiling into the pool, one at a time, very slowly, very patiently. Each drop makes a small, round sound, a gentle plash that echoes faintly off the smooth walls. Plash, plash, plash. The sound repeats, faithful as a heartbeat wrapped in layers of hush. That is the second voice of Neptune, her underground plashing, her secret song of water in shadow. You cannot see the water, cannot touch the water, yet you can hear its patient, tender rhythm. Each plash falls softly into the pool, and the pool softly holds each plash, without fuss. The sound is not loud, not demanding, not hurried, only faithful, only gentle, only endlessly kind. Your own thoughts begin to fall the same way, one by one, into the quiet pool. Each thought plashes softly, and the pool holds it, and then another thought drops, and another. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting your thoughts become water in her hidden grotto. Woven through the flute and the plashing, there's a third voice, softest of all three. It sounds like a lullaby sung in a language no one on earth has ever remembered learning. The words, if there are words, are made of soft vowels, long sighs, and tender, patient breath. You cannot understand them with your mind. Yet somewhere deeper, something in you understands completely, perfectly. It is as though your earliest self, the self that existed before any word, recognizes this song. Your heart knows it, your bones know it, your quiet breath knows it, without any explanation needed. The singer is not a person, not a creature, not anything that could ever be named or held. She is the voice of the planet herself, rising through the ribbons of her blue atmosphere. She sings as mothers have sung since the very first mother hummed over the very first child. Her melody is simple, repeating, unhurried, rising just a little, falling just a little, rising, falling. You feel the song in the softest places of your body, behind your eyes, inside your chest. Your shoulders release into it. Your jaw releases into it. Your whole dear self releases softly. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, singing this forgotten language through the Blue Mother's patient voice. How tender to know that somewhere deep inside you, a language you never learned still softly remembers. The three voices weave together now, the flute, the plashing, the lullaby, forming one great hush. They do not compete, do not argue, do not overshadow each other. They only layer softly together. The flute carries the long breath. The plashing carries the patient rhythm. The lullaby carries the melody. And behind all three, there is a fourth layer, the hush itself, the velvet silence that holds. This hush is not empty, not absent, not missing. It is full, it is present, it is alive. It is the oldest silence there is, the silence that existed before the very first note sounded. That silence welcomes each voice, holds each voice, releases each voice back into its patient depth. You are floating now inside the full music, surrounded by flute, by plashing, by lullaby, by hush. Your breath moves within it. Your heart moves within it. Your whole small self moves within. There is no edge to this music, no border, no ending, only layers of soft, tender sound. It has been playing here since long, before you were born into your blue, spinning, sleeping home. It will keep playing long after this night has given way to another, and another, and another. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, wrapping you inside this endless, gentle, patient, four-layered song. You are not outside the music anymore. Dear drifter, you have become one of its softest notes. And now, quietly, softly, a great truth begins to rise into your dreaming, drifting awareness. The song you are hearing is not only Neptune's, it is the song of the whole universe. Every star that ever shone added its small, glowing note into this great, slow melody. Every planet that ever turned added its patient rhythm, its faithful pulse, its tender, quiet measure. Every moon, every comet, every grain of drifting dust added its whisper to this ancient weaving. The song is made of all of them together, layered across ages of velvet, patient dreaming time. And you, small traveler, you are part of it too, as much as any star or stone. Every atom inside your gentle body was once resting in the heart of an old, warm star. When that star, long ago, released her atoms softly into space, she was singing this same song. Those atoms carried the song with them across the dark, across the ages, across all the drifting. They found their way into clouds, into worlds, into waters, into plants, into creatures, into you. You are made of star stuff, and star stuff is made of song, and so you are made of song. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, singing itself through the quiet breath of your chest. Every time you breathe, dear drifter, the cosmos is softly, faithfully, tenderly singing one more note. Rest for a moment in that truth, lightly, gently, without holding it, without trying to understand. You do not need to explain yourself to the song, because the song has always known you. You do not need to earn your place in it, because your place was given at birth. You do not need to perform, to achieve, to prove, to hurry, to strive, to struggle, to reach. You only need to breathe, softly, faithfully, the way you have always breathed, the way you breathe. And each breath is a note, and each note belongs, and each note is perfectly welcomed. The worries you carried into this night, the deadlines, the messages, the unfinished tasks of day, they dissolve now, softly as sugar dissolves in warm tea, as mist dissolves in morning. They have no weight inside this song, no voice, no power, no claim upon your gentle attention. They were always smaller than you believed, and now they're smaller still, smaller than whispers. The song is larger than them, older than them, kinder than them, and holds you safely. You are the small, quiet center of this great, slow lullaby, wrapped in its layered hush. Tears may rise softly into your eyes now, not from sadness, but from a tender peace. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting these soft tears fall like gentle, patient rain. They're the overflow of a heart that has finally remembered it is home. Drift deeper into the song now, softer still, lighter still, gentler still, quieter still, sleepier. The flute breathes, the plashing repeats, the lullaby sings, the hush holds, and you are held. Neptune turns slowly below, her blue ribbons rolling in time with the deep flute notes. Triton dances backward, his reverse waltz matching the slow, patient rhythm of the underground plashing. The faint arcs of her rings shimmer in time with the forgotten lullaby's softest, tenderest verses. The distant silver sun bead pulses gently in time with the hush itself, faithful, quiet, patient. Everything moves together, breathing together, singing together, resting together in one great, slow, loving composition. You are a small, drifting part of this composition, a soft note held within its layered embrace. Your eyelids are so heavy now that they barely remember they were ever meant to lift. Your breathing is so slow that each breath feels like a long, gentle tide of honey. Your heartbeat is so quiet that it is almost merged with the pulse of the planet. Your thoughts have thinned into silver-white curls, rising, leaning sideways, dissolving into the velvet hush above. There is nothing left that needs your attention, nothing left that needs your effort, nothing at all. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, singing you deeper and deeper into its oldest lullaby. You are becoming sleep itself, dear drifter, as soft and as boundless as the song around you. The song does not end. It only grows softer, only grows quieter, only grows gentler, deeper. It continues beneath your awareness now, carrying you onward into regions even more tender than these. Neptune will keep singing through the long, quiet hours, whether you listen closely or drift away. Triton will keep dancing backward in his pale, pink, reverse waltz across the dark sapphire sky. The rings will keep tracing their whisper-thin arcs. The plumes will keep rising from icy seams. The silver sun bead will keep sending its honey ribbon across the velvet hush of patient space. And you, small drifting traveler, will keep floating in this gentle orbit, cradled by every note. You do not need to do anything. Do not need to hold anything. Do not need to decide. The song will carry you. The blue mother will hold you. The backward ballerina will accompany you. Your breathing will slow, until it is barely a breath, only a soft hush. Your thoughts will thin, until they are barely thoughts, only soft blue mist. Your whole dear self will settle into the deepest velvet of this patient hush. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, letting the melody grow quieter, softer, deeper still. And the song does not end, dear traveler. It only becomes tenderer, carrying you gently, like warm blue water, into waters deeper still, where the hush itself begins to cradle you in its oldest, softest arms. And the hush itself begins to cradle you in its oldest, softest arms, deeper than any word. The song of the four layers continues its patient, loving work somewhere just beneath your awareness now. You have stopped listening with your ears, because listening has become something your whole body does. Every cell of you is a small, open window, letting the lullaby drift in and out softly. Every breath you take is a tender acknowledgement that the music has always known your quiet name. Neptune turns below, her ribbons rolling in the hush, her flute voice humming through her atmosphere. Triton dances backward above her, his pale rose glow shining like a night light in a nursery. The silver sun bead holds its patient watch far behind, sending honey threads across the velvet dark. You are wrapped in blue, wrapped in pink, wrapped in silver, wrapped in the oldest, softest hush. And now, slowly, the whole scene begins to soften further, as if a gentle hand were dimming. The lamp of the sun dims a little, the blue of Neptune dims a little, all softens. Your eyelids, which have already been so heavy, grow even heavier, settling like petals on a still water. Your shoulders, which have already released so much, release a little more, sinking into the cradle. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, dimming every light to the perfect bedtime glow. You're being tucked in, dear drifter, by hands older than any hands you have ever known. Now the voyage itself begins to drift softly behind you, like a long, quiet story closing gently. Neptune fades first, her deep sapphire blue settling into a smaller, softer, distant teardrop of velvet color. Triton fades with her, his pale pink waltz growing smaller, a tiny backward ballerina disappearing in a hush. The faint arcs of her rings dissolve into the dark, like pencil lines erased by a kind hand. Then Uranus appears for a tender moment, her porcelain blue still lying sideways upon her soft pillow. She glows briefly in your drifting memory, a pale lantern resting on its side, then fades gently. Saturn rises in your awareness next, his crystal halo shimmering faintly, his honey gold body turning slowly below. You see him for a single breath, and then he dissolves into the velvet of soft, sleeping space. Jupiter passes through your memory like a great warm pearl, his silken bands flowing in cream and amber. His great red spot pulses once, a slow, warm eye, and then closes softly into the hush. The meadow of asteroids drifts behind them, each stone a quiet mote in a dimming sunbeam of gold. Mars glows for a heartbeat, her rusty warmth lingering like the ember of a fireplace at late night. The moon appears, her silver face nodding once, her footprints still resting peacefully upon her dust. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, folding each world softly into the velvet of your memory. Each planet becomes a small, warm pearl in the long, tender necklace of your drifting, dreaming heart. You see them all now, not as separate worlds, but as a single slow-turning necklace in the dark. Each pearl has its own color, its own song, its own patient rhythm, its own tender, faithful beauty. And each pearl is held upon the same invisible thread, woven through the hush by a kind hand. That thread is the gentle gravity of the sun, the soft breath that once carried you outward. It reaches all the way to Neptune and beyond, holding every world in its quiet, faithful embrace. Nothing drifts too far, nothing falls away, nothing is forgotten, because the thread is endlessly, patiently strong. You are a small pearl upon that same thread now, held alongside every planet in the family. The blue pearl of Earth rests somewhere in the middle, turning faithfully, her oceans humming her own soft song. Her little silver moon rests beside her, her footprints still safe, her gray surface still patiently watching. All the pearls turn together, each at its own pace, each in its own tender, graceful direction. Some turn quickly, some turn slowly, some turn backward, and none of them are wrong, ever. They only turn faithfully, the way they have always turned, the way they will always turn softly. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, keeping the whole necklace humming across the velvet hush. How soothing to know that every world, and you among them, shares the same gentle, holding thread. The velvet dark around you deepens now into the color of a bedroom at the deepest night. It is not frightening, not cold, not empty, only warm, only close, only tenderly, softly, gently full. The stars beyond the necklace twinkle faintly, like distant candles left burning for travelers who may pass. Each star is a kind hearth. Each hearth is a patient welcome. Each welcome is a quiet home. You feel the dark wrap around your shoulders like the heaviest, softest, warmest winter coat you have owned. It settles across your back, your chest, your arms, your legs, your resting, weightless, dreaming form. There is no edge to this dark, no wall, no ceiling, no corner, only soft, endless, loving hush. You could drift within it for 10,000 years and never reach a single hard boundary. And yet the dark feels as intimate as the corner of a bedroom where a night light glows softly. It is vast and close at the same time, infinite and personal, endless and exactly yours. The universe has folded itself down into the shape of a blanket drawn up to your chin. Every distant star is a small stitch in that blanket, each one glimmering faithfully through the night. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, tucking this great, soft blanket around your gentle shoulders. You are held by the cosmos itself, dear drifter, the way a sleeping child is held warmly. 3 soft words rise now into your dreaming awareness, slowly, patiently, like bubbles drifting through warm water. The first word is velvet, and it settles beneath your head like the softest, oldest pillow. Feel how it holds the weight of every thought that ever troubled your gentle, tired, sleepy mind. The pillow accepts each one without complaint, cradling them into a quiet, warm, forgiving hush. Your forehead smooths against it, your temples sink into it, your whole head rests completely. The second word is blue, and it drapes across your shoulders like a cool, shimmering, woven shawl. Feel how it carries the calm of every ocean, every twilight sky, every robin's egg ever laid. The shawl settles across your back, your arms, your chest, cooling every small, remaining tension. Your breath slows beneath it, drinking in the tender blue the way a flower drinks morning light. The third word is hush, and it covers you completely like a boundless, patient, star-stitched quilt. Feel how it holds the peace of every quiet library, every snowy field, every sleeping forest. The quilt tucks itself around your feet, your legs, your hands, your softly closing, heavy eyelids. Velvet beneath, blue across, hush above, and you at the tender center of all three. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, arranging these three words as your bed for the night. You are lying upon velvet, wearing blue, covered by hush, and nothing else is needed, ever. Your breathing has grown so soft now that even the hush can barely hear it rising. In a velvet thread lifts, out, a velvet thread settles, in another velvet thread rises softly. There's no counting anymore, no measuring, no noticing, only the gentle coming and going of breath. Your heartbeat has matched the slow pulse of Neptune's flute, a soft, faithful drum beneath the lullaby. Your thoughts have thinned into pale blue mist, curling upward from your mind like gentle candle smoke. Each curl rises, leans sideways, dissolves into the hush, and another rises, leans, and disappears quietly. You do not reach for them, do not follow them, do not wonder where they went ever. They were only passing travelers, and they have all found their own soft beds elsewhere tonight. The corners of your mouth rest without any task, neither smiling nor frowning, simply soft, simply still. Your jaw has released the last tiny holding it was keeping, letting warmth flow through your face. Your neck rests heavy upon the velvet pillow. Your shoulders sink deeper into the woven blue shawl. Your chest rises and falls beneath the star-stitched hush, slower than any tide you have ever known. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, breathing softly through you with its ancient, patient rhythm. You're not breathing anymore, dear drifter. The universe is breathing you into deeper, softer sleep. Feel how weightless you have become, lighter than the smallest plume rising from Triton's icy skin. Your body rests upon nothing, yet it is held perfectly, as if the hush itself were your hammock. There is no up here, no down, no direction at all, only soft, tender, endless holding. You could drift for 1,000 quiet years and never once feel the loss of bed, because you are already in the bed of the cosmos, and the cosmos is the kindest bed. Its mattress is made of starlight, its sheets are made of hush, its pillow is made of velvet, its blanket is made of every blue you have ever loved, folded carefully, tenderly, faithfully, endlessly, forever. Its night light is the distant silver sun, glowing softly from the far window of the great hall. And its lullaby is the layered song of every planet, every moon, every drifting stone you have met. You are small and safe within it, the way a grandchild is small and safe in a grandmother's room. Nothing can reach you here that is not also soft, not also kind, not also patient, loving. The worries that once lived in your chest have all found their own small beds elsewhere now. They are curled up like tired kittens, sleeping in soft corners far from your quiet, dreaming heart. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, keeping you weightless, keeping you held, keeping you warmly safe. You do not need to come back from this place. Dear drifter, sleep carries you onward gently. Every atom inside you remembers now, softly, tenderly, the old star where it was first born. The star has long since given her atoms to the dark, yet her song still travels through them. Each cell of your body is humming faintly with that ancient, warm, golden starlight lullaby of origin. When you were born into your blue home, you brought that song with you, tucked inside your chest. You have carried it your whole long life, through every morning, every evening, every busy, quiet day. Tonight, at last, the song has remembered itself, rising back through your cells into your dreaming awareness. You are not separate from the stars. You never have been. You never will be, ever. You are made of them, and they are waiting within you, always singing, always kind, always softly faithful. The atoms in your fingertips remember spinning in the heart of a great, warm, golden, ancient furnace. The atoms in your breath remember drifting through nebulas the color of rose and lavender and pearl. The atoms in your heart remember the slow compression of gas clouds folding softly into newborn suns. And all of them together remember the same truth, that home was always the cosmos itself. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, singing this remembering through every small, resting cell of you. You're coming home tonight, dear drifter, the way a wave comes home to the quiet sea. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the old voice whispers softly through the velvet hush. Rest now, rest now, rest now, Neptune sings through her patient, dreaming, silk-ribboned atmosphere. Rest now, rest now, rest now, Triton echoes with his slow, backward pale pink waltz. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the rings of Saturn murmur from far behind you. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the clouds of Jupiter hum in their creamy honey bands. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the stones of the asteroid meadow turn quietly in their light. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the red dust of Mars whispers from its thin pink veil. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the silver moon repeats from her faithful, patient orbit. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the blue pearl of Earth sings from her sleeping oceans. Rest now, rest now, rest now, the distant silver sun hums from her far window of light. Rest now, rest now, rest now, every star in the velvet dark whispers in chorus. Rest now, rest now, rest now, every atom inside your body answers softly back. And the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, speaking these three small words across every corner of space. You're hearing the whole cosmos tell you the same gentle thing in every possible voice. There is nothing else to hear, dear drifter, only rest, only rest, only rest, only rest. And so the voice that has traveled with you becomes softer, softer, thinner than silk, tenderer than breath. It lowers itself from a whisper to a hush, from a hush to a gentle breathing. The breathing fades into the larger breathing of the universe, matching its slow, faithful, ancient, patient rhythm. The words dissolve now, one by one, like sugar dissolving into warm milk at bedtime. Velvet, blue, hush. These three soft pillows remain beneath your head, behind your back, above your chest. Neptune sings on without you listening, her flute, her plashing, her lullaby, her endless tender hush. Triton dances on without you watching, his slow reverse waltz continuing through all the quiet hours. The necklace of pearls keeps turning, each world faithful to its small, patient, dreaming orbit. And you, dear drifter, sink further, softer, deeper, gentler, quieter, tenderer, sleepier, safer, warmer, wholly, entirely home. Sleep now, sleep now, sleep now. The universe is holding you in its oldest, kindest, most faithful arms. You're exactly where you were always meant to be, in the heart of the old, warm star. Velvet, blue, hush, and the universe continues its tender, unhurried movement, singing you softly, softly to sleep. Sleep now, dear traveler, sleep now, sleep now, sleep now, sleep now, sleep now, sleep.